Here we go. Hey, welcome everybody to Rum and Coke night, and it is whiskey night. Yeah, I've got some Evan Williams whiskey with some sweet and sour. That's going to be my drink of choice tonight. Whatever you guys might have, that's your drink of choice. I'm trying something different. I couldn't find the corn whiskey I was looking for. Matter of fact, they really didn't know much about it where I went, so I'm familiar with this other brand. It's not bad. A little dab-a-doo, you're right. So I noticed somebody in the live chat, it was Pew, that actually said he thought that said Evan Phillip or Evan what'd you say? Nephilim free. Whatever. Whatever Neffy's last name is. What the hell's Neffy's last name? Evan. Oh, come on, help me out, guys. This is Rum and Coke night. I'm already starting to get sloshed here. You got to help me.
He said Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, Evan Phillips. So, and I thought about something similar where it said like Kentucky bourbon. I was gonna put Kent Ucky, and we're gonna talk about Kent Hovind, but I didn't want to talk about Kent tonight because what I wanted to do tonight. People have been asking me. Sean's been asking me. About 3-4 weeks ago, I had Aron on my show a couple times, and Aron Ra wanted to have a flat earther to have a debate with. He's under the impression, mistakenly, that all flat earthers are Poes. Now, I do believe a large majority of them are Poes, but not all of them. But he thinks all of them aren't. But he wants to find a flat earther who actually is not a Poe that actually believes this stuff. And I told him I'd find him some, or at least one. And so I told him this morning, I'm like, dude, I'm still trying. I haven't forgotten. And then Ocean started asking, why do you want to debate a flat earther? You know, that's silly. You suck at debating, Aron. I'm like, okay. But I want to find one. So my goal tonight is maybe we can drop in to the Flat Earth channels like we usually do on Rum and Coke night and maybe find one that wants to debate Aron Ra. Now, the only ones I think are viable right now maybe are Part-Time Vegan, Betty von Velstrin, and maybe Quantum Eraser, but as Sean could probably vouch, Quantum Eraser is a true flat earther, but he's an obnoxious twat.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to subject Aron to that, unfortunately, right?
Part-time vegan probably would, actually, especially if it's somebody who's not really stuck their feet into flat earth at all. Betty, I'm not so sure about. I don't think Betty likes to go into debates unless she's got some backup on the side. It was a very rare occurrence to see her get on Red Rhetoric.
And I give her props for that. She got destroyed, but...
Oh, well, subjectively, of course, because they say that she won.
She thought you could see the same star from 4 different directions.
Yeah.
And that the Earth had its own illumination.
And yet she could never describe perspective.
Well, everything's perspective to her, right? It's just perspective. If you want the link, you're going to have to message me directly. I'm not giving the link out to anybody. Or I'm not posting it anywhere because we've had some issues. So if you want the link, you've probably got to have to message me or somebody in here directly for it. And I'll try to get it to you.
But I think your best shot out of the 3 you picked out is probably going to be Part-Time Vegan.
Yeah, that's the one that most people are saying, and I kind of agree. I mean, I've talked to him. I think the guy is legit as far as he does believe this stuff. I think he's just willfully stupid.
Well,
Well, wouldn't you have to be woefully stupid to believe this stuff genuinely and not Poe?
Well, that's what my point is, right? I mean, I want to find. Well, not necessarily. There are people that are mentally defective, right? So, I mean, I don't want to set somebody up like that I know is a mentally defective person, because that's not cool, right? If you got a mental defect, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not
I
gonna,
agree.
Yeah.
the only downside to part-time vegan though is I'm not sure if he's a real flat earther or not, because he will use quotes all the time that he'll refer to the flat Earth model, and in the next sentence he will admit that the flat Earth has no model.
I've noticed he's done that as well. Yeah.
And I've called him out on it on 3 occasions now, and that's when he runs off.
Yeah, I've seen the kind of the same pattern from him. That's why I was kind of questioning it myself, right? I mean, but he says he didn't know what a Poe was, and that's another thing. It's like, how do you not know what a Poe is?
Yeah, with after 2 years of doing the flat Earth, everybody knows what Poe's law is.
Yeah, but he says I don't even know what a Poe is. I'm like, I that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I buy into his bullshit, to be honest with you.
But honestly, I don't think he's a true flat earther. I think he's just in it for the recognition. But he knows that he's talking BS. He knows that he can't defend his BS, but he still goes on carrying on with his BS.
Is that the best we're gonna get, though?
Well,
I mean, literally, is the best they have to offer? Is this, you know?
Well, he's the intelligent people who say they believe in the flat Earth. They refuse to debate because they know their arguments hold no water. So they avoid debates like the plague. They can't answer questions on the fly. They have nothing.
Well, that's what I've noticed too. And part-time vegan doesn't either. I've engaged with part-time vegan. I've talked to him on Red's channel.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I mean, I love Reds, but let him off the hook so easy. I had his ass to the wall.
Like I said, I keep pushing him on the point about when you can actually give us a model we can test, then you'll have an argument. And I haven't heard anything from him since that last hangout where I told him, it's like, until you actually provide a model that we can test, don't bother messing with us because you've got nothing to argue with.
Yeah, I agree. Well, first let's get things out of the way first. Who's drinking? Raise your hand.
I'm cheating. I'm drinking Crystal Light. So sorry.
No, Kaiser, I'm not blocking you. You have to ask somebody for the link. I'm not putting the link out.
I will be drinking in a bit.
Okay, what are you drinking?
Good.
I'm gonna have a wine.
Wine?
Wine,
Okay,
yes.
okay, fine. Crazy Jesse's got Shock Top. Ooh, Shock Top's good. Very good choice. Crazy. Sean, what did you say we were drinking?
I'm drinking Crystal Light. I'm cheating.
You suck. Yeah, you have no business being in here, but that's okay.
I'm allergic to alcohol, but I still have
I'm
fun.
smoking,
I know you.
but I can't drink, so
Yeah,
I
you're
can't
allergic.
drink either.
You're
I'm
allergic to
having
alcohol. All right, fair enough. Barney, what do you got?
Coffee.
Wow.
Oh, that's worse than drinking Crystal Light. I'm sorry.
Wow. All right, well, it is what it is. All right, so how do you guys want to go about doing this? We usually go to ODD. We go to some other places. Do you want me to search around? And my main is blocked on so many different channels. I might have to send, like, Kels over there or something. So I got two browsers open though. I'm running through memory, so my streaming should be pretty smooth. If the outside chat notices any drops, let me know. But everything looks good on my end, so my stream should be pretty decent. And I've adjusted the audios, so it should be good across the board. Let's see what hangouts are going on. How about that? Wouldn't it be the best way to do it? You guys can follow along with me too. Should I screen share this part? Or just trust me that I'm looking for Flat Earth Hangouts?
So a whole bunch of live ones going on right now.
Is there?
I've got ODT doing his 24 hour 7 days a week thing. Got Bro Sanchez is live right now.
Bro Sanchez, I think I'm blocked on this account too. I don't want to switch my accounts because it's going to be a hassle. Because I'm streaming rather than doing just a straight feed.
Oh, actually, that's the only two that are live right now. Is showing other channels that have recent videos.
All right, well, let me see what I got here because I can give the link to somebody and they can do it. Barney, you don't care if they block you, right?
I don't care if they block me.
I think I've been blanket blocked by every Flat Earth channel.
Oh yeah, they hate you worse than they hate me, so I'm okay.
I'm new to this, so they might not know about me.
This is the only account I'm running. I'm not getting it blocked anywhere except by Steve Shives.
Yeah, you can't help that.
Well, I'm blocked by Steve Shives, and I bet. What's that fat dude who has no teeth and beats his wife?
Oh, Brett Keane.
Yeah, Brett Keane. I'm blocked by.
Like
him
how we
too,
just knew that, right? We just.
I
knew.
actually had a decent conversation with him, and then I told him, "Hey, you picked on bronies. Go pick on the furries. I want to see this." And then he blocked me. He realized it.
Yeah, no, Black. God, I'm getting buzzed already. Brett Keane blocked me on Facebook several months ago, and then like from G Plus a year ago, and then Steve Shives blocked me on Twitter. I've never even contacted the guy. So, all right. So here's your choices. You've got ODD, Celebrate Truth. That's with Rob Skiba supposedly. That only has 17 people watching. Want to check out that one? Maybe Rob Skiba. Somebody that said Rob Skiba might want to debate Aron Ra. They don't have me blocked.
Rob Skiba wants to try to take on Aron Ra?
No, I've said Rob Skiba would be good for that.
Well, yeah, because as soon as Rob decided to bring in religion, then Aaron would just destroy him.
I wish I could get the preacher at my mom's church to talk to Aron Ra. I would love to see that.
It's Aron, by the way. I don't know Rob Skiba. I've never
sorry.
talked to him.
Aron, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I try not to.
Do you guys want to go talk to them, or do you want me to try to talk to him?
I mean, I can. Just tell me what to do.
Let's see here. I'm not blocked with them. Let me just see if I can make a post here. Let me capture this.
I doubt Midnight would be blocked, and he would know what to do.
Hang on. Rob Skiba. Okay, there we go. Now the outside chat should be able to see their chat as well as ours. You guys really don't need to see us.
Hold on. I need clarification. Is there a Flat Earth hangout going on?
There's always a Flat Earth hangout going on.
Oh,
They're literally
okay.
24 hours a day.
That's so strange.
Dime a dozen. All around the globe, but they wouldn't admit that.
Yeah. All right. Can the outside chat read the flat Earth chat?
I mean, I can see it.
Okay.
I'm watching the stream too.
All right. I can't see the stream. So.
Stream?
All right. So, hi, Flat Earth. I hate typing when I've been drinking. This is Steve McRae. Oops. That is my name, right?
Can you
so.
put the link to this thing in our little side chat? The link to
yeah, Sean, can you do that? You know which one I'm going to, right?
Which one did you go to?
I went to the Rob Skiba, had like 17 viewers.
Oh my god, there's multiple.
Rob Skiba's live?
Supposedly.
I'm not modded, so I can't put a link in the outside chat.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of blurry.
You guys are making this very difficult for me.
I can only watch a stream in 360. What is this?
There you go. I can make it bigger. I don't want to cut my other thing out there. Is that better?
Take a look. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's better, I think.
And I'm gonna watch for your messages get deleted.
I wanna type in there. You should put the link to that page in the side chat.
No, I got good bandwidth. Actually, I got really good bandwidth. It's just I don't run high D. I don't want to. It just seems to OBS doesn't like it. By the way, if Kaiser's drunk and being obnoxious, just feel free to time him out. I'm not dealing with him. I told Kaiser Q 5,000 times how to get in. Message me or message somebody they hang out. If he doesn't understand, he's drunk, and I don't want to deal with him tonight. So
yeah, he was being a bit.
Yeah, we all going to get drunk because it's Rum and Coke night. You don't get belligerent, you don't get rude,
Steve,
and you don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
he's calling you a fraud, Steve.
Yeah. So you could just time him out, mods. I'm not dealing with people fucking with me right now. It's my job to fuck with them on Rum and Coke night.
He would have an unfair advantage.
He's calling you a fraud, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. No, he's too stupid to figure out how to come in here. That's his own problem. I'm not babysitting him. I've done it too many times.
Isn't he in the group where you get the
No,
invites?
his G Plus thing doesn't work. I cannot ever find him, and he's not the only one. I can't find like Jade either, right? Or a couple other people, and he doesn't understand that. So I'm like, there's certain people it just doesn't work, right? Oh, well, he'll be back in 5 minutes, Hana. He's welcome to come in, but he has to fucking message somebody. I've said that how many times? Did you guys hear me telling Kaiser that like a little while ago?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I know I said it.
Well, some people have beer gargles. He has, whiskey earmuffs.
Whiskey earmuffs. Yeah, I'm sleepy enough to be counted.
Okay, how's that? Is that? Read that. Is that okay? You think? And you can tell me how fast it gets. Yeah. Good.
Yep, I'm actually watching the chat on their channel, so I'll see when it gets deleted.
Okay. Hi, Flat Earthers. This is Steve McRae. Great to be community. Looking for a Flat Earther to debate Aron Ra. Cannot be a Poe. Must actually believe Earth is flat. That's innocuous, right? That's like...
Yeah, there's nothing removable from that comment.
Yeah.
But it'll get censored.
That's
Or-
actually
I mean,
nice.
I'm gonna be honest, Steve. It's a little blurry.
It's readable. If I can read it, then it can't be bad. They asked me what a Poe is. Oh, that's our group. A Poe is a Poe is a person who basically doesn't really hold the position they're arguing for. They do it just for like emotions.
You mean like a devil's advocate?
Yeah, but worse. They actually do it. To
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
like instead of like the thought experimenty nature of a devil's advocate, they're just assholes.
Yeah, I have no time for Poes. Edgar Allan was a Poe. Excellent point. Frozen, excellent point. But that's
He was the Poe,
okay.
so it's okay.
So anybody, they're not biting, are they?
Apparently not.
Apparently not. All right, let's try that. By the way, Geek Room's in the live chat. They had a really good show just a while ago, if you haven't seen it. They had Holy Kool-Aid on. They had Genetically Modified Skeptic. They had... who else was the other ones? Nobody is important. No, it was a Telltale and... and Goddess Engineer. Yeah, it was a good show.
Well, you haven't been removed yet, but they're not addressing it in the stream either.
Don't they love me or something?
Love is a strong word, Steve.
Okay, well, not hate. Yeah. All right. Help me out here, Sean. What special words should I use for these people?
Well, if you want to get banned,
No. Pique their curiosity. Help me speak flat Earth.
well, there's no way to actually speak to them. You have to speak at them at this point. But yeah, they haven't blocked you yet. They haven't removed your comments, but they're just echoing stuff in the actual chat. I'm actually listening to their audio. And they're just doing self-promotions at this point.
Damn, I can't type.
They're shilling.
We might have to go to another channel. These guys are boring.
Yeah.
I probably have like 10 people watching right now. They're going, God, this room sucks. I can't even tell how many people I have watching. I hate that when I stream, it doesn't tell me how many people I have watching.
I wonder if the god of the flat Earth decides who he's gonna hit with a tsunami next by flipping the Earth. Oh, landed on Asians. All right, here we go.
Yeah, how do I...
46.
that's not too bad.
Are you talking about us or are you talking about their stream?
No, our stream.
Okay, I was gonna say I'd be surprised if they had as much as this stream.
Yeah, no, if I get... My low is 50, though, so... But it's okay.
Yeah, they are flat out ignoring you.
Yeah. All right, let me ask let me address one of them. My tingles. You there? I mean, I don't see the point of all them sitting there. All they want to do is just like stroke each other, going, "Earth not round. No picture. CGI. Conspiracy. Illuminati." Become a Patreon for Flat Earth. Truth matters. Do you agree? Yeah, I agree. Truth matters, but not Flat Earth.
Yeah, he just closed the show out, or the radio show host did.
All right, let's try somewhere else. Sound good?
Well, we can still try Bro Sanchez. I think he's the only one that's live right now.
All right, let's go to Bros.
They sound horrible, bros. Hey.
OBS.
By the way, is my mic quality bad?
It's okay.
I'm looking at the live chat for the Bro Sanchez TV, and Duran is.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'm telling you, OBS does not like me closing out windows. Every time I close out a window, it crashes. I wish that XSplit would make a freaking software for Linux, but it doesn't. So I got stuck with this. So now I got to pop out the chat again and capture it again. So 1 second. This is why I just like doing straight hangouts rather than stream. Okay. All right, so we're back.
Just ask some Bro Sanchez's chat.
All right, I'm heading over to Bro Sanchez's right now. Oh, hey, is that Antonio Superrats? Is he in there, or is he just like they just playing a video by him?
I think he's in there.
Antonio Superrats. Okay, cool.
Yep, Antonio's there.
Oh, Hannah's way ahead of me. She's already over here. But I think I'm blocked here. Antonio would be good. Can you guys see my message, or is it?
I did not see a message from you.
All right, I'm blocked. So Hannah, it's all you, girl. So let me capture this window here so you guys can see their chat, and she's gonna have to like speak for us. So, all right, that's their chat. Yeah, my chat's not there. So any mod can send Bro Sanchez the message about Aron Ra debate. We are not followers on Flat Earth. I'm just about tired of petting oversized egos. $5 super chat for Flat Earthers. Okay. Are they saying they think Dranism is shill? These guys,
everybody's calling everybody else shills at this point.
They eat their own, don't they?
I wonder what flat earthers think of the saying, money makes the earth go round.
We need to work on your jokes. Well, the problem is I can't go to another stock account because I don't want to like mess up my windows here because it'll crash. So
right.
If they're not listening to Hannah or watching what she's saying, they're certainly not going to watch me. But they've got 6 freaking mods, so. Hannah says, Bro Sanchez has spoken to me before on Red's Rhetoric's channel. I hope he remembers me. I'd really like to extend that invitation to him regarding Flat Earth debate with Aron Ra. Have you talked to Bro Sanchez, Sean?
I've talked to him in one of Red's hangouts, yeah.
And he's legit, not a Poe?
Well, he's a pusher of the Flat Earth. He's a con artist, but yeah.
Well, I think they're all con artists to a degree, right? Well, if they're going to ignore Hannah, though.
Religion is a giant con, so.
That's not always true. There are people that are religious and not con artists, Guy.
Yeah, but the Christian religion?
I know Christians that are not Connors. You got to stop making these really inflammatory rhetorical statements because they don't help conversations, man. They just don't.
Right here, let me be more specific. Most Christian churches in America are cons.
I wouldn't even agree with that. I don't think. I mean, there are some, but you need to specify. You need to say like, okay, the churches where like what's his name? What do they call it? What kind of evangelism is it, Sean? Where you, oh my God, I can't even think right now.
Westboro Baptist.
Prosperity churches. Yeah, prosperity churches are cons. But be specific. Don't speak in generalities. All right, Hannah, they're not listening to you, and you're not blocked. So, yeah, Joel Osteen, those guys, mega churches. Yeah, not all the mega churches, but a lot of them. You know, but so Hannah, they're not listening to you, are they? Hannah donated $2 to a Flat Earth channel. I'm telling Rich, that's a breakup thing right there.
What?
Hannah donated $2 in a super chat to Flat Earth. They didn't even read her message or care. Aron Ra is looking to debate Flat Earth. Interested?
Well, give him a second. He can wait for her to stop talking before he
Oh, there
does
you
a
go.
shout out.
Hannah Zubi, email me a link. Let's go. Okay.
Why aren't you looking for like Flat Earth Facebook groups? They're always active.
Because this is live and it's Rum and Coke night.
Yeah,
And
good point. It needs to happen.
All right. Well, at least he responded with email. But unfortunately, I want to type something, but I'm blocked. I think that one of the conditions should be they have to unblock this account.
Do you want me to write that? Or do you want... you can tell Hannah.
I can't tell Hannah shit. Are you kidding me? Hannah don't listen to me. I'm not telling her to do a damn thing. She's going to do her own thing. So...
Well, if she's doing her own... Oh, she's
got it going on. She knows what she's doing.
Hannah will be in your live chat, giving you the email, and
they even think that Eric DeBay is a shill. Wow, I'm telling you, and Flat Earthers like eat their own. It's a wonderful site.
Uh-huh.
So the ones that started all this, all the newer Flat Earthers, like, oh, those guys are all wrong. How does that work, Sean?
Jeez.
What did Hannah say? Or is that in our chat? I can't see. Man, these guys get a lot of fucking super chats. See, I told you. See, I told you guys, man, I would be doing like awesome if I was a flat earther. I'd be like playing this all up and shit. I'd be like, Earth isn't round. You've never seen a photograph, Sean. It's all composite CGI. Why are you shilling for the government there, Sean? I could do that. How hard is that?
Pull a Brett Keane and change.
Yeah, well, I just go back and forth, right? You know, I'll be like a theist one day, an atheist next day, a flat earther the next day. Then I'll get on chemtrails, and I'll be an alt-right, alt-left, alt-center, alt-up, alt down.
I've never heard of alt-center.
Yeah, it's a new thing I'm starting.
Hold on.
Gary says, I have a flat earther for you. Please send me a link. You have to send me the link. You have to message me because I'm on the moderator account and other things. And so send me a message, Gary, and I'll send you a link to come in. Yeah, I want them. So the problem is, though, I want them to come in and talk to me right now about it. I don't want to freaking, like go through third people. So, Bro Sanchez is not going to be willing to come in here and talk. And not about flat Earth, but about, what are we looking forward to debate Aron with, Yeah, yes, Mr. GPT. Can you ask the flat Earther what causes the sun and moon to move around according to them? Yeah, magic.
You'll think this is rich, Steve. Bro Sanchez just said how bad censorship is, but he's got you blocked.
Yeah, the irony is not lost upon me there. Can somebody send Gary the link?
I
Gary
think I know
Rhodes.
whom Gary is
I know.
going to send over, and I'm almost certain that's a Poe.
Well, he didn't say so.
And just to point out, since I was listening to their actual audio feed, he gave the shout out for the person before Hana, and he gave a shout out to the person after Hana, but he did not give the shout out to Hana.
Well, they didn't give a shout out to me because they had me blocked.
They have they don't want to give credence to people like us.
Who do you think he's talking about?
Me?
No,
About Shanji.
Gary Rhodes.
Yeah, about Shanji.
Sanji.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like anybody I know.
It's a member of the GDC that he's had a debate on Flat Earth a couple of days ago on Immortal Army's channel, and Immortal Army also suggested that.
Plus, these guys have slow mode on. That sucks too.
That's a neat quote to look at. Debating is an NWO trick. Adults discuss with an open mind. Isn't that the whole point of a debate, though? Is to try to convey your point to where someone can either agree or disagree with it?
You would think
Yeah,
so, right?
but they
Oh,
they
wait,
like
what's
to
this? What's
change
this? What's this? What's this?
definitions.
Steve McRae, Sock 86, Brojo, come enter or hang out and debate me. What? What?
What?
What?
Oh.
Are they saying that Hannah's a sock account?
I don't know. Obviously, they're directed to me, but I'm not. They can't see my writing.
Yeah, I think they think that Hannah is a sock account.
Hana, you still over there?
Haha. You secretly have a female sock account.
Yeah.
Her last post was at it's not too far up.
Hana says yes.
11:32, so 2 minutes ago.
All right. Can you go over there and ask them about why they're talking about my sock?
I need to get going. I'm gonna pass out.
Good night.
Good night.
Why are they talking about my sock?
Don't die. They might like to smell socks, Steve. You never know. That was worse. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go.
You
kill
guys'
myself.
jokes
Be
are
right
really bad. Well, do you want to go over there, Hana, and ask them what the hell they're bringing up my name for?
She might need a super chat again.
No, don't waste your money on them fucks.
Yeah, no kidding.
back. No, it's okay, Steve. You're mostly wasting your money on Google.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. My sock account's in there. It's not me though. See, Hana, can you let them know that's not me? Yeah,
And
there's
who's
been a guy that just been pretending to be me.
Bro Sanchez, your chat is being watched by Globers trying to bait for a debate.
I'm not a flat Earth debate person. No, Hana, I just want you to go over there and tell them that's not Steve McRae. That's somebody pretending to be me. Can anybody go over to their chat and tell them that?
I am in there.
You're probably blocked.
Me?
Oh, that was good. Just fake Steve McRae. That's going to tell them a lot, Barney. Now you're on slow mode. Oh. Okay, Han put it there. That's a fake Steve account. Okay, so we're waiting for Gary to message somebody so he can get the link. And I don't really want to wait for Bro Sanchez because that's going through email and all that. I want one of these guys to get with us right now. Now, I have two options. I can either A, try to go on another account and not have it crash, or 2, try to go into another different feed and find a flat earther. What do you guys say?
Let's not risk the crash. You already had this stream interrupted twice.
Either way, it's probably going to crash. But okay. Well, Nim, thank you, Nim. Steve is live streaming right now. That isn't Steve, as he is blocked here. Hi, Joel Silver. Somebody says hi to me. Okay, hi, Joel. Joey.
Even if they came and saw this, they would think that you're just lying the whole time so that they don't think. Wait, reverse psychology.
Yeah, that slow mode is crap.
What the hell is slow mode?
It has a 30-second to 60-second time delay or longer. So you can only send a message once every 30 seconds or 60, depending on how you set. Steve McRae, why don't you come to Bro's panel? Because I'm blocked, Sanji.
Well, let's see if I'm blocked. He can't, since Bro has him blocked.
Yeah. They don't really pay attention much, though, I noticed.
So, am I blocked or not?
No, you're blocked. Why is everybody saying hey, hi to me? I don't know any of these people. Do they know me? My name's not that prevalent in the Flat Earth community. I'm not like Red's Rhetoric.
Apparently, well, it's like me. I've been on Red Rhetoric's Hangouts, so I've been kind of blanket blocked by most people.
Yeah, but I don't do much with some of Reds that often. I certainly don't do much with Flat Earth. I mean, the younger creationist movement, they know me, but
it just takes one Hangout and you're automatically blocked from half a dozen Flat Earthers.
Well, they all like hi Steve, like they know my channel. I don't think I recognize any of these names. I don't know who F.E. Clown Show. Bro Sanchez debate Steve McRae. I'm not looking to debate anybody. I'm hosting the debate. And since they have me blocked, I can't even say anything to them. That's what is annoying. It's like, why are you messaging me knowing that I can't respond? Steve, send your guy here. No, that's not how it works, Sanji. Of course, he's not listening to this feed anyways. Can you guys let these guys know what's going on? I'm hosting a debate. Aron Ra's looking for a flat earther. Message me if they're interested and come in here and talk to me about it. Tell them I'm hosting it. Yeah, in order to get them blocked, whoever has control of the channel has to actually do that, though. Thank you, Crazy Jesse. Steve is moderator. Yeah.
Which stream is this?
This is Bro Sanchez's.
All right.
God, they can't. Paul, my name's spelled 1C. But I appreciate it. Paul was like, hey, bro, put your words up for scrutiny. Yeah, that's exactly it, buddy. I think I should get a wrench in all these flat earth things. That way I don't have to worry about getting fucking timed out and blocked and shit. You go in there and the first thing you say is hi, and they're like, oh, bye. I don't think any of these people are really that interested. I'm giving them a big name to go up against. All right, I might have to try to log to a different account.
I'll try.
Oh, that won't work. Shit.
Nope, you got Sean G in your chat now.
Oh, hey, there we go, Sean G. Sean G is I'm a flat earther. Okay, hi, Sean G. So you may be interested in debating Aron Ra? Yeah, let me see.
Shanji, come join us.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that Shanji can hear me, and not I can type to him. But you know, there's a couple qualifiers. Okay, he can hear me. Okay, good. So here, let me tell you what's going on, Sanji. Aron is obviously a friend, and Aron about a month ago was on my channel, and the conversation went to flat Earth, and he's under the impression that all flat Earthers are pros. That means that none of them believe flat Earth is true. So I'm laying all my cards on the table. It's just straight up. You know, you can go watch the old hangouts, and this is true. So he wants me to go find a flat Earther who's not a Poe, that is willing to go on air to debate him on flat Earth, right? And that means he, will give evidence for why the Earth is round. You give evidence why the Earth is flat, and you guys have a kind of a conversation, which I moderate. Now, if you know on my channel, I moderate debates between mostly people like Ken Hovind and King Crocoduck, or Ken Hovind and Bill Ludlow. I have, people like Dr. Hugh Ross come on, and Dr. Fuzrana, and Dr. Mary Schweitzer. And so I'm looking for something a little bit above board as far as more than just people throwing names at each other. I want two people, one person advocating for the flat Earth position, showing evidence, and one person for the round Earth position, showing evidence. Is that something you might be interested in, Sean? Oh, crazy. You didn't know about that one with Mary Schweitzer? Yeah. That was a long time ago. I had Mary Schweitzer on it, and it was amazing. Yeah, she was a great guest. I've been a flat Earth for 6 months. I don't know at all, but I'll join. Well, nobody knows everything, but 6 months is not a long time. Now, that kind of has me concerned, because I'm looking for somebody who's pretty well versed in this stuff. I've been around the scene for quite some time. I know Sean has as well. Would you like to come in and try run flat Earth with us? Because if you can't get by us, you're not going to survive Aron, I don't think. And I'm the nicest one in the group, sort of.
And I'm nice to a point. I have my breaking point.
Yeah.
Aron has spent 35 years trying to be nice. Doesn't give a shit no more.
Yeah, no, Aron's a little more aggressive.
He's mean.
All right, so Sean said he'll join. All right. Yeah, by the way, Kenny, I've been trying to get Rob Skiba. He's hard to get a hold of. Rob Skiba would probably do it too. All right, let's see. Can we get him the link to join us?
Does he have a G+?
That's going to be the hard part, finding that out.
That's not hard, actually.
And Gary Rhodes, you're going to have to message me too, or message Sean. He'll give you the link so you can give whoever else it was. Oh, he gives email. Okay, that's fine. I could probably add him directly now that he gave me his email. Let me see here. Let me try adding him directly to the Hangouts. Oh, I think it did. All right, yeah, it worked. So, Sean, I just sent you the link. While you're taking a few minutes to get in here, I'm going to go turn on my AC. It's really hot. Hi, Steve. Been a fan. I have one suggestion for you. Check this guy out, Harry Hubbard's. His site sources, makes videos. His name's Harry Hubbard. Look him up. Okay, thanks, Blue Rose. Appreciate your words, too. I do not know who that person is, Harry Hubbard. So, is he a flat earther? I take it? Because I only do flat Earth on Rum and Coke night. Every other time I don't bother, but I leave that for people like Sean. But I'm gonna turn the AC on. I'm gonna get some more Rum and Coke, which is actually whiskey. But
it takes a special kind of fortitude to handle it when you're sober.
Yeah, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I honestly I can't. I'm not not even gonna try. So hey, Sean, you have the floor for like 3 minutes.
Alrighty.
Congratulations. Take over, buddy.
So how's everybody doing?
I'm sleepy as hell.
Why? Well, dude, I'm like 3 hours past my bedtime. Don't give me sleepy stuff.
It's almost 6 a.m. and I'm wrapping up work.
Yeah, see, you're still at work. I've been up since like 2 o'clock yesterday morning now.
Yeah.
So I'm going on 22 hours.
That's okay. So we're in the same.
Sean G, I was banned from Bro Sanchez's channel, and I've never even made a comment on it. He just banned me because I was associated with Red Rhetoric. And that was just verified when I tried to leave a comment in the chat, and it never showed up. I saw that, Shadow. I'll run that by Steve when he gets back, because I'm not sure how much he wants to fill the panel up. Because I know he's saving a spot for Sean G, who I believe has an email now with the link to get in. Or he might want to check his Hangouts app, because I think he got actually added from there. He just needs to click the join call button.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm back. By the way, I am
Steve?
blocked. I am blocked on Bro Sanchez's thing, guy. So Sean, they block me right off. It's weird. I say hi, they block
Shadow,
me. What's that?
Shadow, he doesn't want to know if he can have a link to come in.
Yeah, well, of course, it's his Hangout.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
Was
his
not aware of
business account. But I can't really give it to anybody unless they message me, or it'd actually be easier if they message somebody else. But
he now has the link.
all right, so just Sean, I added you internally. You weren't able to get in, Sean?
He says he's trying to join now. He said that about a minute
13
ago.
Shadows. Who's that?
That's Shadow Heathen.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
13!
Yeah, I was trying to explain to him that the point of me saying, okay, let me in there, was more along the lines of somebody to man the doorbell while you were AFK.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, that's. Yeah, 'cause I still have to do the
Yes, under
doorbell
this
thing.
account, if I can do that.
Right, because this one's you're in the group thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm drinking.
Boy, this whiskey sour is good, but the sour mix is strong. I think the sour mix is doing more harm than the whiskey. Yeah, it's very tart. It's not a good sour mix. You guys have noticed there's a pattern that when we have flat earthers, though, for some reason they find it very difficult to figure out how to get into Hangouts.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually
Oddly
a car for the course.
convenient.
I mean, Google Hangouts is just badly designed.
No, I agree.
No.
Well, no, they are. I mean, let's be realistic, but
It's not hard to click a link.
no, but for a flat earther, a lot of things are difficult.
Maybe
Yeah,
Maybe
but
you should try
also
checking your
have to
email?
Make sure you have the plugin.
Well, hang on though. I think the internet would have to function a little bit differently on the flat Earth model, wouldn't it?
Well, I think what it is, since we go by the WGS 80 or 84 map, that it's a different distance to click the mouse when they're going on a flat map.
Okay, he says no invite. What the hell? All right, I don't think I'm gonna find him on Google Plus, is he? Am I?
I'll send him the link over at Google Plus, because he does have a G Plus account.
All right, yeah, send him that way. I'll try to find him too.
Mic test?
He still sounds like you.
Yes.
Oh,
Might
okay.
Just as a footnote to the folks that are looking to see about joining here, when you try, this is a corporate hangout, so when you try to join it, it will say wait for approval, and it will not show the participants when you try to join. You have to wait a moment for us to actually click the a little button don't allow you access.
Yeah, it'll show empty hangout for. Yeah.
And it's not letting me send any private message.
You can make it public. It's okay.
Let's see if I can add them through this. Why is it not saying I'm in an active hangout? This is weird.
Well, like I said, first I'd like to know why the hell they keep blocking me. Oh, they got deeper in the rabbit hole. In there, do you see that? DIT, yeah, down the rabbit hole.
I'll just send him a private message over YouTube.
Whatever works
Send
at this
message.
point. Get him in here.
All right, check your private messages, Sean G. You have it'll probably go to your probable spam folder for your private messages, and that'll be from me. It has the link to get in.
Do you guys remember the last guy that we had come over? Do you remember what that was? I'll give you a hint. Started with T and ended in X.
I'm not sure.
Oh my God, you guys don't remember Tex? You didn't see Tex, Sean?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I remember Tex. I remember him. Oh my God, the guy who's from Oregon, and he's like super all like, oh, I did engineering, and he couldn't like.
Yeah, he was the engineer that didn't know like
Oh,
things like mass, energy, momentum, inertia, science, physics,
Yeah, that guy.
gravity. You know, all those really hard words that you learn like, in graduate school.
Wait, he didn't know what inertia was?
He didn't know anything, dude. He's a flat earther. Come on.
I knew what inertia was at 12. I had a game that dealt with it for my computer, and I learned it. And this dude can't look it up on Google?
I have a rule of thumb. If somebody's a flat earther, I really don't take anything they have as far as their academic credentials too seriously. All right, I can get rid of this, I guess.
But here's the question: when you mentioned inertia, did you say in where?
In where?
Hot.
I'm just not getting jokes tonight. It must be me.
Inertia.
Oh, inertia. Oh, okay. I don't know anyone named Inertia.
Yeah, I don't know anybody named Ursha.
But if he said, I don't know what that is, as opposed to in where or something that would indicate confusion, I question the validity of his claim to not know the word.
Yeah. So Harry Hubbard's not a flat earther. He's a hollow earther.
Now, I did
Did you
send him the link.
believe Ice Age was real?
I did send him the link through his YouTube channel, but if he has me blocked, then he won't ever see it.
Sorry.
Is he your hollow earther?
Oh, why would
or
he
is
wouldn't
one of the
have you
concave
blocked?
earthers?
If you had him blocked, if he had you blocked, you wouldn't be able to send a message.
No, you can still send it. It's just it'll never show up.
I thought he doesn't even let you send it.
No, it'll still let you send it because it won't let you tell. It won't tell you that you're blocked on YouTube.
Oh, here
That's
he
why
is.
See, there we go. So,
Here he is. Yay! And I didn't have to prove him. 13 did. That's awesome. Yay! All right. We got Sean G in here. Everybody give it up for Sean D. Give him a hand first. Yay.
What's up, guys?
All right. So, Sean G, you got a mic that works.
Yes, it's
Cyborg,
working.
you don't have a mic that works. Stop popping. Sean,
Me?
yeah? Yeah, you working? Mic working?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
sweet. So anyways, welcome to my channel. Also the Great
How you
Debate
doing?
Community. Have you heard of us?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay, good. We're getting to be well known around the world. In no smart part to people like Barney here, because Barney's been like shilling for us because he is an Illuminati shill, literally. The rest of us work for Satan. So, in that regard, you are a flat earther, right?
I am.
Okay, and you said in the last 6 months.
Yeah, about 6 months.
Okay.
What about that?
Can I ask what your accent is? What you're from?
San Diego.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay, so you're not that far from, a couple hours south of me. Before we get started, did you see the fire that was up near Camp Pendleton?
Yeah.
What was that
what
from?
Was it? Oh, it's just ordnance fire.
What was it?
Ordnance fire. They just do a lot of firing up there and a lot of controlled burns.
No, it was a controlled burn. Okay, yeah, I saw it over in that area, but I didn't know what the hell it was. But it looked like a pretty big fire. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
anything,
Good one.
anything that's burning up there, they let burn out on its own.
Okay. Okay, so what made you think that the Earth was flat? What was your reasoning behind that?
Most of my observations,
Okay, what do you observe?
flat. I don't observe any curve. I don't observe. I don't. There's a lot of things that, when it comes to space travel and getting around, traveling wise, that just doesn't make sense on the globe to me. As far as I'm concerned.
All right, so satellites don't exist.
No, I believe in satellites.
Oh, okay, satellites exist. So we have GPS, and that works off satellites.
Yeah.
Okay, and they orbit the Earth.
Yes. Or yeah. But the reason for that, for me, that I still believe flat, even though there are satellites and stuff, is there's no 24-hour live feeds that are actually 24-hour live feeds. So there's a lot of questions behind why are they always cutting out and stuff like that.
Well,
as far as I know,
if the Earth is round, wouldn't it make sense that the satellite isn't always overhead or in range?
Well, from what I've read, they usually send a few of them up, few satellites up to be able to triangulate, to be able to do that.
It takes a minimum of 3.
Well,
at higher altitude.
And also, if that was the case, then I mean, how do we keep weather reports at night and those other things? There's like only certain live feeds of videos that are the only ones that have this issue.
All right. Well, you do know there is a live feed. The Himawari 8, I believe it is, has a continual live feed that takes a photograph of high resolution every 10 minutes, I believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only ones I've ever been able to find are all either still, they're CGI'd, or I've been looking. I haven't been able to find any the real images.
Can I ask? Because I'm gonna be like pretending I'm Aron here, because I know Aron pretty well. This is kind of things that would be asking. I want to get kind of get your feel on this. What's your expertise on CGI to determine if it's CGI? Do you do graphics?
No, not at all. But as in seeing different things I've been trying to find in researchers have all been pretty much clear to me. As far as I know, that when they're sending the pictures back, most of the time they're supposed to be black and white, right?
Not all. Himawari's color.
Yeah, I've seen the only ones from that one I've seen are the ones that are composited, and they even on the 3 websites I've been able to find that I've looked at, they've only been ones like you can change the color and change the resolution on it. And
Sean, you're making a lot of noise.
Those ones obviously are.
What is you're making a lot of poppy noise? What does composite mean to you when you say composite?
Yeah.
How are you using that word?
It's just not one full image.
Okay, but that's what I mean. When you're taking a large area, you do understand that no one camera can take a large area if it's not high enough, right? So it has to take composite images and then put them together. The Himawari, you can actually zoom in on it, and you still don't have any pixelization. You still have no loss. It's very high definition. How do they make those accurate images when the Himawari can look at a cluster of clouds and see these formations, and you can also look overhead and see the same formations?
Well, I'd like to. I haven't. I guess I've gotten that far into my research with it.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm new to it, so there are a lot of things that come to when it comes to looking up, basically, that it's kind of hard for me to answer, because I don't really know. If I don't know, I'll let you guys know.
You know what? I don't know is a finding. If you say I don't know, that's cool. But Jackie, what you trying to say?
Yeah, to be fair though, it's always sunny in Southern California, so it's kind of hard to do that match. But I was gonna say that Sean,
yes.
when people take panoramic photos, those photos where you basically spin in a circle and your camera takes multiple photos, and then you can see the area all around you.
Yep.
Just because those are composited together, it doesn't mean that the stuff that you're seeing in the image is fabricated. Composite doesn't equal completely CGI. It just means that you're taking what you see and you're basically just trying to paint the whole picture with it.
Yeah, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece is a composite, right?
But you don't see the actual of whatever you're taking that picture of, you're not seeing the true edge of that, of whatever that panoramic vision picture is.
Right. I mean, if you've ever done any
Well, but
photography, you'd
that's
see
the same
reasons
for
for that.
any picture.
Right.
You're not actually there to see it.
No, but if you're taking a picture of, say, a mountain or anything really, it's not going to give you. You're not going to have anything to base the size of. You're not going to be able to base any distance from it off a panoramic as you would be able to in a regular picture.
Actually, if I
Yeah. By the way, don't send me the link. Don't send me the message for the link. Ask somebody else here. I can't give you guys the link right now. It's going to crash. I'm not messing with anything. So if you want the link to get in here, ask Sean, ask Shadow, ask Barney, ask Jackie. Come on, they're all in your friends list. So, by the way, we have a lot of people watching. I just looked for a second. It was like 70, but I don't want to like do too much because it's already crashed. All right, so your big thing is it's with images. But here's my question: if you said that satellites do exist up there, so how do they orbit on a flat Earth?
Hold on. Hold on. Oh, never mind. I was gonna tell 13 if Mike was really quiet, because he was trying to get in a word. Never mind. Go on. Sorry.
You're saying how do satellite?
Yeah, what's the orbital mechanics that I could look at to say, okay, this is where this orbit's supposed to be. This is where the satellite's supposed to be. If I want to like put a satellite dish on like with DirecTV, and I say, okay, I want the signal. I want to get signal from my TV. I have to point in this direction. How does a geosynchronous orbit stay? How does a satellite stay up there if it's flat?
As far as I can, without knowing exactly how everything works like that, the best of my knowledge would be more of it being on its own, basically control. You know, how do I say it?
I have no idea.
With the same way, I guess that they're said that they keep them right side up and all that with their what do you call them?
Orientation.
boosters.
No, the type of rockets they use is like little
thrusters,
little
boosters.
Yeah, these little thrusters.
Mm-hmm.
The best of my knowledge would be something like that. And then I don't even know if just because on flat we have an atmosphere above. There could be some type of atmosphere on the bottom too. I don't know.
So you're suggesting that satellites stay up there because they're constantly firing thrusters
to keep direction, maybe.
And their fuel supply is based upon what to do that?
It's the life of the amount of fuel. I mean,
how much fuel do you think these satellites would have to sustain an orbit over
I have no
decades?
Clue.
Okay.
I don't know how. I wouldn't know how much it would take to be able to do that, or how long they last up there.
All right. That still wouldn't explain certain orbital periods. If a satellite's not geocentric, where it's going to stay over the same position, it's going to actually orbit the Earth, and it's going to look like a sinusoidal wave because of the tilt of the Earth. So it's actually moving with respect to the Earth. Thrusters aren't going to allow for that.
But then wouldn't it still, if that was the case, wouldn't it not have an actual like a even orbit though? Wouldn't it at some point shoot off into space, seeing how the Earth isn't a ball, like completely round like a ball?
Have you ever seen how a round Earth works? Have you ever seen a model for it? How orbits work?
Well, most of the images are it looks like it's just straight ball, but they say it's not.
Well, it's pretty round. It's pretty round.
It's mostly rounded, bulges a bit in the middle.
Yeah.
It's basically the way that the moon pulls the water as it goes
It's a
around.
potato
anyway.
round.
Yeah, it's called a regular oblate, a regular spheroid, but it's for all practical purposes it's round. It's not even notable to the eye the amount of difference between the center of the Earth, the equator, and the poles. The flatness is not going to be noticeable by the naked eye. We can measure it, but the eye isn't sensitive to measure it. So for all practical purposes, it's round. So again, if you look at the round model, we can see how these satellites can go around. We can look at it. We can say this is where this satellite's supposed to be. We can make a prediction saying tomorrow the satellite will be in this location. How do you do that on the flat Earth model? And if we can do that with a round Earth, why don't you accept a round Earth?
Well, like I said, I'm not sure if there's no atmosphere at all at the bottom. But like I said, I don't know too much about satellites. As far as I could think and try to figure it out, it'd be more of a, like I said, thrusters. But I don't know how much fuel
So
it would
why
take, or how,
If I may, right quick.
Sure,
If I
sure.
may, just right quick. Have you been to a science museum and seen one of those? There are these fairly broad graduated funnels that go in, and you can take these little balls and kind of spin them around and watch them go around and slowly creep in towards the center.
Those are cool.
Yes.
They're gravity wells.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of concept to a degree, except in the case of the ships, they have thrusters to correct it. So basically, if you got a good spin, so it was going to take a long time to go down towards the center, this has thrusters that actually maintain that orbit.
Yeah, they'll boost up. You lose what's called orbital height because of friction, right? Because there is atmosphere up there. So what's going to happen is the satellite's going to get a little lower. They have to keep bumping it up every so often. But some of them they lose control over, like the Chinese satellite that's going to come down the next couple months. They've lost control over that. It's losing height. And then the next month or two, maybe early January at the latest, probably, that satellite's going to come down like Skylab did. And it's going to rain some parts up to 200 pounds can hit the Earth, right? You don't want to.
well, at the same time, couldn't they orbit horizontally, basically? So instead of doing the orbits where for us it'd be north-south, would it be just around in a circle horizontally?
Well, theoretically,
That would
you
make the
can
same orbit, wouldn't
you can have an orbit from any directions you want. They launch them from west to east because they get a higher initial velocity, I believe. Isn't it west to east on Cape Canaveral, Sean?
Yes.
Okay, so they get a higher kinetic energy out of that. Again, the biggest limitation in launching satellites is cost. Cost is expensive, and the more weight you have, the more fuel you need, and that increases the cost. So they want to do everything as possible to keep that cost low, and that there's a way we can put it into an orbit without going against the direction of the speed of the Earth, right? The direction of the Earth spinning. So far, let me guess. Let me just reiterate. Your only evidence so far is that you think it's CGI. You don't have any expertise to tell that it is, and you think they're satellites, but you don't know how they work.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't. Yeah,
Wait,
I don't.
you think there are satellites?
Yeah, no, he said he thinks they're satellites.
Well, hold on,
Yes.
Steve. To go back to one of the things that he said when he first came.
It'd be impossible not to have sites with.
Well,
Satellite phones.
Your flat Earth
For
friends
instance.
would disagree. You're the first flat earther we've run across that actually has agreed.
Yeah, it's
they're satellites.
very common.
Well, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things that I don't. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out myself, and I don't think every flat earther thinks exactly the same.
That's
to go back
probably
to-
true.
Hold on. To go back to one of the things you first said when you first came into the thing was that there's no live feeds of the Earth from space. From
I don't believe
2010 to 2012, EchoStar 11 gave a live feed on Dish Network.
Oh,
18 months of solid 24/7 live feed from space. They had a channel for it, but it made no money. So it was a total waste of cost.
Was that EchoStar you said?
I wasn't a flat earther then, so I definitely didn't see it.
Did you say EchoStar?
EchoStar 11.
Dude, that was
EchoStar 11.
was that the OK band satellites? Satellite dishes?
I believe so.
Yeah, because that was the EchoStar, the Comstar, and the Satcoms. Those were back in
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s. Those were.
No,
Even
they're
before that
actually,
even.
they actually just launched EchoStar 17.
Wow, because I remember EchoStar 2. That's where you had On and Select TV, and it had Cinemax, I believe it was.
All of the EchoStar satellites are owned by Dish Network.
I remember those back in the old days. Those were the K-Brand. Those were back in 1986. I was selling satellite dishes, and they were the 15-inch
Steve.
kind. Yeah.
I have to leave in 10 minutes, and I would like to pose just a short set of questions
may.
to Sean,
Go ahead.
if I may. Okay, so about gravity not existing, right? Gravity is, you said, pressure difference or density difference in the atmosphere.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you take a vacuum tube and put an object inside the vacuum tube, what would happen to the object?
I don't know. I've never done any experiments with the vacuum before.
Would it fall or would it float?
As far as I know, it would fall, right? I mean, the mass is still mass.
Yeah, how would it fall if there is if it's in vacuum, if there is no
There's no fluid in
Density
there, no density, no buoyancy that you're claiming. How does it fall?
Because mass is still mass. So It's not
Mass
close
is
because
still
you get
mass.
the,
Yeah, but you have to
the
realize
atmosphere weight
that
doesn't
all
mean-
space is vacuum. That's why you're weightless
well,
in space.
So
Hey,
it's
hold on,
satellites
there's-
are in space, right?
Hold on, there's
Technically not
actually
weightless in
that's
space.
actually half of a straw man.
Yeah.
Because in a vacuum, the density difference would be so great that the object would fall at the speed of light.
Relative
It would go from
to-
zero. It would go zero to basically the speed of light because the density difference is so great. If density was the cause of things falling
No.
down,
Density difference, from what I understand from his argument, is the pressure gradient in the atmosphere. Above it is the air is less dense, below it is more dense, and then due to buoyancy.
Well, yeah, but the problem you have is that the atmospheres are fluid, and to have buoyancy and density, you have to have fluid dynamics.
You have to have
Right.
yeah, you have to have
And if
gravity.
you have a vacuum, how do you have
But
fluid
it's-
dynamics in a vacuum?
Let's skip across that bit. Let's take that for now and say that it's just due to the pressure gradient. Remove the gradient, remove the atmosphere, remove all the density,
Okay.
have it in vacuum. If there is no gravity, an object in vacuum would logically have to act weightless. It would have to float.
Well, as far as I would be, say everything still has its mass, so it
But
would
mass
still
has
fall.
to be. Hang on, but mass
Wait,
has to
if
be
it has
operated
its
with.
mass-
I don't understand.
What good is just having mass? What is something has to act upon the mass, or at least mass has in gravity. It actually mass is falling through what's called a potential well. It's falling through the fact it's making a shortest path between 2 points on a geodesic line, but you just can't say mass. What is it? If you just have mass, how that's going to make? How
you
that's,
say
how,
that mass is enough,
Yeah,
then
how's that
you're
stop
admitting
movement?
that gravity exists. Two masses
How's that?
two masses attract each other. If all you need is mass, the force that attracts two masses is what we call gravity. That is the definition of gravity.
Well, my understanding with the gravity then why doesn't the sun pull everything to it?
Why doesn't what?
What? Why doesn't?
Why doesn't the sun pull everything to it then? Why aren't we
Because-
having
It
issues?
does.
Because
It does.
well, that's easy. We're circling the sun at the same rate that we're falling. We're falling away from it at the same rate and we're falling towards it. So basically, if you think about it,
Well, hang on. Can you explain that? Because I don't understand what you just
Sure,
said
this-
about it.
you want to do it? Go ahead, Barney.
We're falling towards the sun. And
Okay.
we're moving sideways in respect to the sun at such a speed that we're constantly missing it.
Yeah, and so
Like you mean
if you
centrifugal
add-
force, or constantly being out while being?
there's something
You
called
don't. There is no such thing as a centrifugal force.
It's an
Centrifugal force exists only from within the rotating accelerating system.
yeah, it's an inertia.
What you have is centripetal force, something that is drawing those two objects together with movement to the side.
It's
So
a little more simpler than that. You don't even have to. You don't even get into centrifugal and centrifugal
that's
force.
attracting them is gravity.
But you have. Do you know what a vector is, Sean?
Yes.
Okay, so you have two vectors going on, and the combining of those two vectors is going to cause it to go in a circular path. That's all it is. Think about it that way. Okay, because it's literally as he said, you're falling away from it as you're falling toward it, and it's a balancing act, right?
You're moving aside.
I get it. It's like a tetherball.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. But I mean,
If you-
I don't want to really try to explain to him round Earth. I'm trying to figure out how his flat Earth model works.
No,
So when
I just wanted to get the point. If masses attract, then that's gravity. You have gravity. If it's a matter of density and buoyancy, then in vacuum things should float. Then in vacuum they should act completely weightless. And that's a test that you can do very simply, and I did it yesterday when my light bulb died. And I remembered because this question was posed in his debate. When a light bulb dies, the string falls off. And the light bulb is filled with vacuum. And you can turn it around and see it obey gravity. You can see it falling down.
Things fall in a vacuum, is what he's saying to you, Sean.
Of course, if we go back to our proverbial science museum again, and you have those two big tubes, one of which has a feather in it, and the other one has a different object, in a vacuum, they fall at the same rate, if I recall.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
how come the certain tests that I've seen that they do like tests inside of a vacuum? How come we don't see those things like the chemicals they tried burning to try to see if rocks could be burned out of the atmosphere? How come those things are still able to burn.
First of all, oxidation is weird when it comes to what was called microgravity. Okay.
Well,
things burn.
Actually, Steve, I know what video he's talking about. He's talking about a video from Cody's lab where he actually made 3 attempts to get a model rocket engine to burn in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And he actually, if you actually watch the entire series, you will see that he actually succeeded once he actually put some pressure, or he put a cap on the end of the rocket motor, so it actually was able to build up enough pressure.
So you need a back pressure.
Yes. Once he did that, it got it to work fine and dandy.
Yeah, I mean that's how these rockets are designed. These rockets are designed so they have a certain kind of nozzle formation, a certain kind of back pressure that they have, that you have a continual reaction going on in the combustion chamber between the oxidizer and the fuel. That's the whole.
It's more
that's the
of
whole
a
point.
push than a thrust.
Well, push is a thrust. You're pushing.
Well,
you're not pushing against something.
Well,
You're just
thrust.
What you're doing is you have a momentum
Itself.
force on the bulkheads of the rocket, and you have one going one way, and then you have the ejector going out the other way. Due to the conservation of linear momentum, the rocket has to go in that other direction. It's just simple physics.
That's why I still believe. That's why I believe we can
Yeah, okay.
send rockets up.
So let me ask you then,
why-
what is your actual empirical evidence? I mean, obviously you said observation. I mean, the Earth is big, so it's going to appear flat to us. But what do you say is evidence? Go, you know what? This shows the Earth is flat.
Just the fact that we don't see curve, no matter how high we go.
But we do.
I don't see why. Mount Everest, you don't see curve.
No, you won't see Mount. No, not really.
At the very top of Mount Everest, you can see a little bit of curve.
You don't see curve there.
It's barely. You have to.
Hang on. This is where an artist's eye comes in handy. If you're used to looking at basically how lines are shaped in this and looking for oddities within images and what have you, you'll notice that on the right and left side of a picture taken off of Everest, if it's a widescreen, you'll notice that there is about a 6 pixel difference.
But you need a really wide lens for that.
6 pixels, most people will not notice.
Yeah, you need a really wide lens.
It's about a 6 pixel drop.
Okay, and the thing with that is
show that on a computer program.
Oh yeah, a car can show this. We have somebody who does modeling who can actually show this. Yeah, I have no doubt Car can do it. But here's the thing: people say there's no curve, yet they'll admit we have rockets in space. There's curve. You see curve. The Earth is not flat. We've been to the moon. The Earth is not flat.
We have definitely not been to the moon.
Definitely not.
Everything they're telling us now says that we have been. Everything they say that the way the Van Allen works.
Okay, I'll take this one, Sean. I'll take this one. Let me take this one. So Sean, what do you think is the problem with the Van Allen radiation belts?
The amount of radiation, the fact that they've been trying to punch holes in it to be able to go.
And where have you heard this from? Because I know the video on this one. This is something I'm familiar with. Because this is not what they said.
Governmental documents.
No, let me correct you on this because this is something I am familiar
100%.
with. No. What happened was when they went through the Van Allen radiation belts, and I've seen the trajectories of the moon orbitals. They went through there's 3 things that you have to factor in when you factor in radiation: time, distance, and shielding, and of course the type of radiation. So you have less exposure. I mean, you want to go through relatively quickly. You want to have low density of the field, right? And then you want to have some kind of shielding. The amount of exposure they got through going through the Van Allen radiation belts in the area they went through, which was such low concentration compared to the higher parts, is nominal. It was very, very nominal. What they were saying in these videos was they're looking for more efficient ways to go through the Van Allen radiation belts, but they've never said we didn't go through them. Nobody from NASA ever said we didn't go through them.
No, they've never. Yeah, absolutely they did. I can show you.
No, they didn't.
Explaining it, they started saying that they went through that Van Allen belt. They weren't in it for long enough to affect the astronauts. In certain videos that talked to the astronauts, they said when they went through the Van Allen belt, they only saw stars through their eyelids when they closed their eyes, stuff like that. They definitely said they went.
No, they didn't. What do you think of radiation?
Change the fact that they have.
What is a radiation belt? What is a radiation belt?
Basically, a large band of radiation that surrounds Earth.
Okay, what kind of radiation?
As far I don't know.
Okay, then if you don't know what kind of radiation it is, then I don't think you've really done your research on this.
Okay, well, if I'm watching astronauts say that,
Yeah, I know
what
what you're talking about, and
go off of.
Etymology for Truth got it right. What you're confusing is there's two different things. You're confusing what's called cosmic rays with radiation. Cosmic rays will have energy deposits, and cosmic rays can actually penetrate your eyelid and deposit energy on your retina. That produces a flash of light. It's scintillation. That's not the same thing as the radiation belts.
Did you say the radiation belt encircles the Earth? I thought it was flat.
Well, that's what you asked me. What I know about the radiation belt, and that's what they say. And I always say they say.
Okay, but you get the concepts wrong. Do you understand there's a difference between cosmic rays and radiation belts?
Well, yeah, pretty much. But at the same time, you asked me why I think we haven't gone through it, and I told you
you talked about cosmic rays. The answer you gave me was about cosmic rays.
You're trying to change it. What I said very clearly that when you listen to back interviews with astronauts about it, they say they went through it. When you look at NASA documents, they say they went through it, and they say they were in it for such a short amount of time that the radiation didn't affect them. So they do say they went through it, and they did say
I know they went through it. I saw the orbital. I actually looked at the orbital path they took. It's a very, very nominal amount of radiation exposure. I have a lifetime. I could tell you my lifetime exposure. My lifetime exposure is about 600 millirem. I worked around two different types of reactor systems.
This is what I'm not understanding. I just told you that they went through it because of the interviews and the videos.
But you said we didn't go to the moon, though.
And you said who said they went through it? That's where you're exactly.
No. I said who said they saw flashes of light from the radiation?
They didn't.
That was not from the radiation. That was from cosmic rays. But if they went through
this is the account that the astronauts gave, and that's all he's saying.
Okay,
but
I wasn't there. I can't tell you.
Here's the thing.
I'm not a scientist that does that stuff.
He's actually taking like 3 different interviews
and throw them all together.
Them all together into one.
No, I said numerous ones. I didn't say just one. I said interviews that the astronauts made.
All right. So you said they didn't. How does that show they didn't go to the moon?
I just don't think they have. Why? The fact that they talk about them having a technology to be able to do it now.
Okay, now you're talking about the Orion video.
Okay, and so that one, and then other ones like where they're talking about.
As has been explained many times.
Since the 64, they've been trying to punch holes through it, stuff like that. To me, it makes more sense that
many times about the Orion video. The whole point for the quote mine that you just did was to say that with our current technology, which is all microprocessors instead of vacuum tubes, we have to find out if it's safe to send anything through the radiation belt because it's more susceptible to radiation.
And you know
we don't want to send.
Not Sean. Not know if it's safe to go through the
yeah, but you know, no, Sean. Do you know what the hazard? It's not the hazard to the person. Okay, again, their exposure was very, very low. I was a radiological controls engineer. And I hate using the word engineer, but that's what it's called. I'm not a true engineer, but that's what they call the title. I actually was the person that actually controlled entry into the reactor compartment and did radiological surveys. So I do know a little about radiation. So let me ask you, when they say that it's a hazard, do you know how it affects microcomputers and what's called TTL or CMOS circuitry?
Not exactly, as far as I would know. It would be kind of like a.
Okay, because ionizing radiation can cause transistors to flip. Okay, for their state. They basically, because most of them they operate on a quantum level. They can have things like tunneling. They can have loss of parity. They can have a whole bunch of other problems with them. That's what they have to determine. Vacuum tubes didn't have that problem. Vacuum tubes basically just had a filament, it had an anode, a cathode. Didn't worry about any of that stuff. But with solid state, it's a whole different ballgame. We don't know how the microprocessors may be affected by ionizing radiation.
Why have they been trying to basically either dissolve or punch holes through the belt then?
What do you mean by punch holes? All they want to do is want to get through it at the most optimal path. You've already said we've been through it, right?
No, I said that's why I don't believe we went there.
You've said.
I told you the reason I said go through it is because of the interviews I've seen, and you asked me.
Okay.
They say they went through it. That's exactly what I said.
But you said
there are times when what we consider higher technology is actually less efficient. And this holds true in things like dealing with electromagnetic pulses, as was vaguely referenced earlier, and things along these lines. With an EMP, for example, if you're in an older car, you're more likely to have it functional after an EMP is set off, because the newer ones have all the
Right.
computers in them that'll get upset by it. There are times on things like earlier technologies like vacuum tubes are technically more adept at doing certain functions.
Yeah. Well,
And this would be one of those.
the EMP is a little
So what
bit
you're
different
saying
than
is
charged particles.
basically
The EMP
that
is
they
because you
can't-
have an induction, right? You have a high energy field going across a coil. Anything that has a coil or wire is going to have an induced current. That's what's caused. That's the problem with the EMP. But I mean, as George points out, we've got to the point where we know how to produce semiconductors where they're not susceptible to this stuff anymore. But back in the day, we didn't have that, right? When we first were doing the semiconductors. But we've got to the point now we're confident on our semiconductors. We know how to shield them properly. We know what a Faraday cage is, too, right? For any kind of electromagnetic radiation. But it doesn't preclude us from going to the moon.
If that was the issue, then why do they send satellites on a regular basis through these things?
They don't. The radiation belts are much further away than the lowest orbitals of satellites. So satellites orbit about 99 to 1,200 miles. That's called a low orbit altitude. Van Allen radiation belts extend much, much further away from the Earth than that.
So they haven't sent any satellites past that?
No, satellites don't orbit near the
exploratory probes. Yes.
Probes
satellites.
Fine,
No.
yeah. But satellites are barely off the surface of the Earth.
Why are those able to go through the belt with no problem?
Because
we designed them to.
when we send a probe up to like say the New Horizons probe, it wasn't turned on when it was going through the belts.
Yeah, I do believe that they try to limit their active. Right, they want to go past it as much as possible, if I'm not mistaken.
So so they didn't basically the stuff that sends images. Yeah, they don't turn it on, so it won't be an issue at all. Basically, right?
Right.
Okay.
But again, what I'm confused is, I'm not trying to dog any of you, but if your only expertise is watching these videos, don't you think you should maybe read a textbook?
I've read a lot of books. I mean, you make it seem like I don't know anything, but if that's not my expertise in something, then I'm only going to know what I can research, and at the same time, you're only telling me stuff you've read and not anything that you've actually been out there to do. So when I say something like what I've read, what the astronauts said, or what NASA said, you keep making it seem like because I haven't studied that my whole life, I shouldn't be talking about it.
No, I didn't say you shouldn't be talking about it. I'm just questioning how you're formulating this belief with so limited amount of understanding.
Okay, so you're saying you know everything there is to know about. How
did you get that from what I just said?
When it comes to it being a globe.
How did what I just said get translated to
what
I'm
you just asking because what you're asking me.
Did I say anything like that?
If I may, right quick.
Well, hang on,
wait,
if I can,
evolving.
No, well, I want to make sure because again, if he wants to debate Aron, he has to get through me. And I'm very good at understanding rhetoric. Did I imply, say, or infer anything that you just said back to me?
What do you mean? You're jumping back and forth between.
You said
asking me a question and then making it seem like I'm not.
Okay, well, you said does that mean that you know everything? Correct?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Why did you ask that? Did I infer that I did? Did I state that I did? Did I imply any way, shape, or form that I did?
That because I don't know everything about flat Earth or how it's a flat Earth that I shouldn't be talking about it.
Did I say that?
You said how? Yeah, you said how do you believe it's flat? I believe it's
right. I'm trying to justify your beliefs, your justification of your beliefs. That's not the same thing that
doing research. I'm doing research to justify my beliefs. My beliefs have nothing to do with what I've done my whole life.
No.
And if that was the case, then I would say, okay, let's take space out of it and just everything you see on Earth. Because I'm a great surveyor.
Did I ask you? Did I ask you what your occupation was? Did I ask you what you've done your whole life? No. I'm asking you to justify your beliefs.
But you're saying that you're justifying how the belts work and everything because of what you've done in your career. You didn't say that?
No, I said I have an understanding of radiation.
Okay, that gives you
a leg up.
Gives you an understanding of how the belts. Okay, so this fine. Let's stay on the ground, and I'll do based on what I've done my whole life.
Okay.
If I may, for one moment, I feel that he is responding to implications that I don't think you intended to make.
Who, me or him?
Implications that I don't believe you intended to make.
No, I know the implications I make, and I know the ones I don't.
But I can see how he could have potentially assumed those implications based upon the way it was presented.
But unfortunately, That's not how discussions work. We don't assume things in
There,
a
because
discussion.
I'm only okay. So I'm.
So what is your?
I
So,
take from
so-
your.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say
Is he breaking up? Or
how
is
I
this
take
me?
your questions.
Is he breaking up, or is it me?
He's breaking up a
He
bit.
is breaking up.
Okay, because I mean, I'm not trying to step on him, but he's breaking up every 5 words or something, or 4 words, and I'm like, is he done talking? Go ahead, Sean. You're breaking up a little.
Unfortunately, Google is not the greatest platform.
No. Go ahead, Sean. Try it again.
Did we lose him?
He muted.
He said he was going to try and reset his mic.
When I reset it, the mute was on.
Okay, so let me ask you. You talked about what you do deal with. What is it about the flat Earth model that you can relate to in your areas of knowledge that doesn't comport to what we already know or are able to describe using a round Earth model? Everything that we observe, we can actually show works on a round Earth model. There's nothing that we observe that we can't say, oh look, this model doesn't work for that. There's nothing.
Curve, just based on
that's just your subjective opinion. I'm talking about observations.
No, it's not.
Well, sure.
Exactly. At 35,000, you should see the Earth rolling over itself as you go to it. We don't see that.
He just told you that about 35,000 feet, it's about 6 pixels.
Are you talking about curvature from your point of view?
One showed that.
Are you talking about curvature from your point of view directly away from you?
Anybody's.
Like on the Earth?
Okay. Soundly has done several observations from several different locations of several different long distant objects that all show curvature from from your observing point directly away from you.
Well, and the simplest way is, and I've been in the Navy, so I can verify this. When ships go over the horizon, you do see only the top of it. The bottom goes away.
That doesn't make any sense, and I don't believe that at all, because no one ever talks about both sides. The swells and waves that are.
It has nothing to do with swells and waves. It could be perfectly calm.
It has everything to do with it, because there's no perfectly flat. Perfectly flat ocean to show.
There's not enough swell. First of all, swells go up and down. There's a movement.
Yes. If you have a swell that's rolling in from, say, 5 miles out, it's going to change that water line.
No, Sean, you can look.
No, it doesn't.
Trust me.
It doesn't.
I've sailed around the world many times. When you look at a ship that's over the horizon, okay, the swells were so small that you're not even going to notice them, even with a very powerful binoculars. Okay, because they're just not.
So what were the swells?
Usually one or 2 feet. I mean, something like that. That's not going to be noticeable. Now I've hit 20-foot swells.
For that. So for that video or whatever you're talking about,
though, the ship's buoyancy would compensate.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, it depends on what we were talking.
Okay, exactly. It would compensate for it. So anything between from the boat to you, you're not going to notice it except for the swell.
Okay, Sean, listen to me very carefully.
So how are you going to see if it compensates for it?
When you're looking at the ship in the distance, though, and that swell comes under the ship's going to lift. It's not going to block it.
Yeah, actually, you should.
And you would see the ship rise and fall if you were close enough to observe it.
Okay.
It's not true.
Well, actually, it kind of is. But okay. But look, that doesn't really matter, though. When you have a ship with a mast, and that ship's over the horizon, you're not having 20-foot swells. I guarantee it. If you hit 20-foot swells, you feel it. It'll knock you right out of your rack. So you have a 20-foot mast, and you see this. You see the 55 Bravo radar that's coming off a ship, right? And you look at it, and you don't see the bottom. The whole bottom ship of the ship is gone. You're seeing the antenna. That ship is below the horizon, no question about it. How do you describe that on a flat Earth?
I haven't seen that one then.
Steve?
I've seen that where you see an antenna stuff. The only ones I've seen were.
Well, I know Res Rhetoric has photos very similar to this.
Steve, perfectly present.
Yeah.
This is the causeway down on Lake Pontchartrain. It's water. These bridges are level with the surface of the water all the way across. They are at the exact same height all the way across.
Yeah. Can you pull up a blueprint for them? What? I don't understand what's funny about it. If you could find a blueprint for it, then it could be explained or proven easily. Either side.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, these are arguments to incredulity.
Go drop
Okay,
a
'cause
tape measure.
for the same reason I asked that is for the same reason. For instance, the Golden Gate Bridge is said to be used. It had to be built with the curvature in mind.
It did.
And it's not.
Actually,
and
it
I've
is.
shown it.
Actually, the actual stanchions, there is a degree of tilt between the off center from the top
No, there's
to the
not.
bottom. Well, then you're
There's
wrong.
not. No, but I've had the blueprint. I've done my live streams. I've showed it. I've done at the measurements on my live streams. That's what I'm asking. That's why I said, do you have a blueprint of it? Because I can show on blueprints exactly how that's not true.
So do you know what perpendicular? You know what orthogonal means?
Yes.
Okay.
And the
What's
other part of
orthogonal?
it is everyone keeps saying that all the bridges that are made with this curve involved, and they're
Okay. Well,
they're
tell me how you to make
they're-
that measurement. Okay. So you have a bridge. You
use
get.
I make a mean line off the water line, and then I measure from both sides and check my right angles.
Check your
And
right angles.
all of them have this.
Why would they not be
Yeah.
right angles? If there's a curve, are they not going to be
didn't
right
say
angles?
that. I didn't. No, I said I would check for right angles.
Well, no, I'm saying if there's a curve, why would they not be right angles? They still would be right angles if there's a curve.
Well, you would see the mead line would be completely off. Right? If you make your mead line across the water line, and then you did your measurements, your mead line would be off.
But you're measuring the wrong
at the middle.
distances. You got to measure the difference between the base to the tops of the stanchions.
Yeah, but
of
you
the
have to have a
towers.
mead line first. You have to have a mead line first. You can't do that. You can't
I
add
don't
that
think
all
you're
at
understanding this. Look at when you look at a bridge, right? And they're built such you have cabling coming down from one tower to the other tower, right?
Yeah.
For expansion bridge. That the tops of those towers are going to be further apart because of the curvature of the Earth. Okay, but they're going to be both perpendicular at the base.
Okay, so if you have a mead line, and you have your center line of those towers, and you measure the distance between them, that's how you can tell if there was a curve. And
Why are you
there's
measuring
not.
the center line? You got to measure the tips of them.
No, yeah, you measure the center line of towers. You don't measure the tips of it.
But
Because
that's
center
showing
line
you
is gonna show
the
you
that's
right
going to
away,
show you
off
the
your mead line,
curve.
off your mead line, and the center line of the towers. That's instantly going to give you a right angle or not. And if they are off a curve, it won't be a 90 degree. It won't. It won't show it at all.
And you brought this. Okay, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. And you showed civil engineers this, I assume, right? And they go, "Wow, this is fact, right?"
I've done it myself, and I know how to
But
read.
you're not a
blueprints,
civil engineer.
What?
But you're not a civil
cut out
engineer.
right
You need to go to a civil engineer, and you need to have them validate this, which I don't think you've ever done.
I'm
have you?
qualified I'm more than qualified to do it.
Oh, really? What's your background in civil engineering, if I can ask?
I've done a lot of them. Mainly just 20 years of plane surveying. I've done a lot of studying on geodetic surveying and architecture. So I mean, I know how to read blueprints. It's not something that you're making it seem like I just have no clue what
Okay,
I'm
so
talking about.
I have a great
That'd
one
be
for him to
like
try. I have a great little diagram I wrote. Then since he's done geodetic surveying, I have a great little diagram that I need him to explain to me.
Go for it.
Which so far no flat earther has managed to. Let me pull up the link to that. No flat earther so far has managed to.
So I think Barney. One sec. I'm sorry. I think Barney is right. Are you measuring the blueprint? Or are you measuring the actual structure? You don't see a problem with that?
No, not at all. Because they would, if you're saying that the blueprint and the bridge is off, then you would have all you would have to do is look at the revised blueprints that they would have.
Go ahead.
Because when everything goes up and everything settles, they still do measurements before they would open the bridge.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna notice a difference between the top and the bottom.
So so you're saying the blueprints they used to build it, and then there's going to be a huge difference between that and the revised blueprints if they needed a revised blueprints.
Well, it doesn't really matter. The revised blueprints and the amount of cable that you need from the top to the bottom would be a different amount. If I took a very top piece of string and I put it to the very
so
listen.
So what you're saying is
please don't interrupt me when I'm trying to explain something. If I have a piece of string and I take that string and I put it at the very top of these two towers, I have a specific length. I take that same piece of string and I put it on the base. It's going to be longer than the bases because it is longer at the top than it is at the bottom because of the curvature.
No.
Yes. No, not no. Yes,
Like,
trust me on this. It actually is.
You're saying so the blueprints are full of shit is basically what you're saying.
And that's not what I said. I don't know why you keep straw manning. That is not what I said at all.
That's not strong man, because I'm going off of what you said. So I'm telling you exactly how they exactly why I believe it's not off of curvature, and you're making it so that why I said that is wrong. So off the blueprints, how off is everything off the blueprint?
All right, well, let's look at the blueprints. What blueprint you got for us to look at? Go ahead.
He posted a link in there. He wants Sean, SHAWN to screen share that link he put in chat.
I thought you had something you want to look at epistemology.
Yeah. If someone can screen share that link that I posted there from my Google Plus page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. Somebody else has to.
Hang on.
All right. So you're talking about the Golden Gate Bridge, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can somebody show his?
Yes. Hang on. There you go.
So we were talking about surveying earlier, right? So this matter has that's latitude sphere are on Earth 69 miles north or south, it'll shift 10 degrees. If you go, 690 miles, it'll shift 1 degree for 69 miles. If you go 690 miles, it'll go 10 degrees, right? And that only works on a curved surface. Like if you look at this diagram here, if you do the trigonometry, if you take the tangent of a triangle, which is, if we're looking at, for example, Polaris, right? If you're on the North Pole, Polaris is at your zenith. It's directly overhead. And then if you travel 690 miles south in any direction to, 80 degrees north latitude, Polaris will be, 10 degrees off from your zenith or, 80 degrees up from the horizon. And the problem that you have is when traveling on a flat surface, you can see here that there's no fixed ratio because you're basically taking the tangent of a triangle. As you get further and further away, you have to go further and further to change the angle of any object that was over your zenith, right? And in this relationship, it doesn't matter how big Polaris is. It doesn't matter how far Polaris is away. The fact that that these ratios are drastically changing, where it's like in the first 690 miles it changes 10 degrees, but then to go for a 70 degree change, you got to go 10,700 miles, right? It just doesn't work on a flat plane. But yet, so far, all the flat earthers I've spoke to, they accept that things like stellarium will accurately show how the celestial sphere changes as you change in latitude.
Yeah.
And all that, and all those softwares will all show this fact that this whole celestial sphere tilts, 1 degree every 69 miles.
And I just discovered this. I just found this.
And how is this possible on a flat plane?
Real quick, Sean, I just found this. The Golden Gate Bridge.
You showing a diagram? I thought you said you had a diagram for it.
Actually, Midnight's showing a diagram.
Midnight is showing it. If someone could present Midnight, that would show it.
And while he's doing that, you're already presenting. While he's doing that, the Golden Gate Bridge, the two stanchions are 230 meters high, and they're 1,280 meters.
Just click on Midnight's name.
Yeah, he's presented.
Or someone present Midnight.
Can you guys hear me?
But if he's got somebody else highlighted, he still won't see it.
Okay.
I'm seeing.
Can you guys hear me? You guys can't hear me.
If you click the link in the group chat on the side that I posted at 9:40 p.m.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We hear you.
All right.
Yep,
So, Sean,
we hear you,
the Golden Gate Bridge. I looked at the numbers. The Golden Gate Bridge has 2 towers. They're at a height of 230 meters. They're 1,280 meters apart. The distance from the top to the bottom has a 2-inch difference from the height to the base. So the tips of the stanchions or the towers are 2 inches higher in the top than they are the bottom. And I have the math here to actually show this, if you'd like to see it.
They're 2 inches higher, you said?
2 inches wider.
Okay, should I stop screen sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the page that I found. It has the math there. The top of the Golden Gate Bridge is almost 2 inches wider at the top than the base because of the curvature of the Earth.
I've actually found blueprints. I'm just looking for high resolution ones because you can see that there's actually an angle.
Yeah, I couldn't find any high res one. That's the problem. They were too low. I couldn't make.
It actually shows the amount of angle that they are apart from the center line of the bridge, but I'm trying to find one that's got higher enough resolution to actually see the number of the angle that it is.
So while you're doing that, I want to ask the other Sean. Sean, can I ask what your motivation is to want to accept flat Earth? I mean, let's be realistic here. Pretty much the whole society have known the Earth is round for thousands of years. YouTube comes along, people make these videos. People that don't know a lot about science fall for these YouTube videos, but they're nowhere else you can ever find anything about flat Earth. So what's your motivation by wanting to think that the Earth is flat? For what reason?
Point that Wise had out of the math that is just basically made up.
What?
Things that NASA tells us, things government tells us about all the.
All right, so it's conspiracy. Okay, I'm just curious. Go ahead, Sean. It's just conspiracy stuff.
So then, when these are tens of thousands of years before that, when they thought everything was flat, what made it not a conspiracy then?
Because that's actually what they thought. But Aristophanes did an experiment, and he actually realized that the Earth wasn't flat. It was round. We know that.
What, about 400 BC?
It was several hundred years BC, yeah. And that experiment has been repeated. Did you want to show something, Sean?
I'm still looking for a high enough resolution image.
Yeah, I couldn't find one. But yeah, I mean, it's 2 inches wider at the top than at the bottom.
Now, is that off the center line?
That's no, it's from the top.
Okay, but there's a center line.
I don't know why you keep saying center line. The distance between the 2 tips of the towers is 2 inches wider, longer than it is at the base.
So do you know what you understand what the?
I know exactly what a center line is. I was in the Navy.
Okay, so then why is that a measurement from the center line?
No, the center line of the ship is the line that goes down the middle of the ship. That's the center line.
Okay,
well, there's a measurement from the base of from one base to the next, and the one top to the next.
Yeah, so the center line of the base is going to be would be at the same at the same the center line of the tips of the towers. Now, if the measurement's from there, then I could understand what you're saying. But because the base is not the same size as the tips, it's not going to give you the same measurements.
You don't understand here. You're dealing with an axis. If I look on the x-axis, right? I'm not dealing with the y. I'm not dealing with the z. If I take the measurement at the base of the towers, just along the x, I'm going to get a number. If I take that same measurement just along the x-axis at the tops of the towers, I'm going to get that same number plus 2 inches.
I know what he's trying to ask. He's trying to ask if the measurements are coming from the center of each of the towers, from the base and the top. Yes, they are.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the center as far as the middle of the tower with respect to its width.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
And something to note that in each one of these blueprints I'm seeing, if you look at the actual curvature of the water, it is curved in the blueprints.
No, because in the blueprints it doesn't show curved water. It shows the
I think it's going to depend on which one you look at.
And then you're looking at the base of the. If you're looking at the bridge and it being curved, that's to compensate for weight distribution. So that way, just like
I'm looking at the water line. They actually have it drawn curved in all of the blueprints.
No, can you show me that? 'Cause it's not the ones I have.
I mean, you do realize that civil engineers have to be very precise in this stuff, and if the flat Earth model was the right model, that's the model they'd be using.
All right, so I'm presenting the plans that I was going off of, and I don't see it showing a curved water.
Let's see which ones you got, because there's zoom in on the curve, or zoom in on the water line.
This is as far as I can go.
I see a curve. That looks like a curve to me. That's definitely.
You see a curve in the water?
Yeah.
Not much of one, but that's one of the
first things. I've not seen a curve in that one.
Yeah, well, a lot of these stuff you're probably not going to see a curve because the curve is so small that your eye is just not going to really see it depending on certain pictures.
It's like
so there's curve. So you can see the curve here in the bridge, but you can't. You see, but some of you say you do see it here. Well, first, that doesn't make sense because this is the mead line. It's not the water line.
Actually, that is the water line.
Yeah, I'm looking at the water line.
It says mean lower.
Yeah,
mean lower, low water. So that's the water line. That's the mead line they're using. So the water could be like this, where it's wavy, but that's the straight line they've gotten off between the high tide and low tide.
If they're saying mean low, that means it's the average low tide.
Okay. Yeah, that's what mean means. It means average.
No, I completely understand what it means. I
don't know why you're saying it's somewhere between high and low tide. That is what the average low tide is.
That's what I mean.
But
no, the mean line is
it's still drawn as a curve.
I'm not seeing it out.
Where are you seeing that as a curve?
Well, when I actually zoomed in on it, when I actually zoomed in on it and actually put that line on the bottom of the monitor, it does bulge up by 2 or 3 pixels in the center.
I don't think it does at all. Not even close.
Well, that's the other way to detect this curve. If you want to look at the actual center line of the road, obviously in the middle it's going to have a higher degree of curvature, the bulge, than toward the edge. And I don't know how many pixels it is, but it's not. But a pixel isn't that much depending on your picture. I mean, how much degree is that you're talking about for like 2 pixels?
Unfortunately, you put it off screen while I was
right now. I'm going
to ruler to it, but I wasn't seeing even a pixel difference with my.
Well, I'm trying to find the one where I have my reference lines on it. That was the one I was using. The one I used when I did it was as reference lines to where I got my 90 degree and where I got my levels from.
I'll correct myself. I was looking at the bridge. I didn't see that little small water line. The bridge is definitely curving, but
yeah, the bridge is definitely curved. I mean,
it has to. The same way a 40-foot trailer has its bulge at the top for weight distribution. Same thing with the bridge. So what keeps it from snapping down from weight or any of those tension rods breaking, or if they had.
I used to live in Hawaii, Big Island, and our school, we'd have a class, and we'd be at the beach, and you could see parts of Maui clear. And we'd travel up the mountain, which is pretty much the largest mountain in the world, one of them. And the further you went up, the more of Maui you could see.
The higher up you go, the further you can see.
The higher you go up, the further distance is going to be anyways, because you're going up, and you're going up the mountain.
You're still going to be able to see further the higher up you go.
This is like on the ocean, in the middle of the Pacific. Are you saying there's that much distortion and pollution or whatever in that distance? Or heat from the water coming up? No.
Hang on. He has not yet made the statement that the horizon rises to your eye level or anything like that.
All right, well let's move on to some other things. So far, I mean, this is pretty weak. But all right, I suppose you have a model we can actually look at for flat Earth, right? I mean, if we said, okay, we want to look at a model, and we want to look at all the observations.
Basic idea of how we think it may be. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't show you something that is 100% how it is perfect.
No. But I mean, do you have a model that is a working model?
I can find one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Show us that, and we'll start from there.
I would love to see one.
I've looked. I've never been able to see one. Eric DeBay doesn't even have one.
That's what I said. I didn't say that one that's cut and dry how we know it is.
I've been asking for 2 years for any model where we can make any prediction or do any.
Yeah, I've not seen any.
No one has
zero.
produced anything.
Not even a rudimentary one. So I'm really curious.
That's why, you're making it seem like I told you. Yeah, let me show you the map of exactly what flat Earth looks like.
No, I didn't say that. I said give me something that we could use.
Well, the question is, do you have a model? Because right now, most people that are promoting flat Earth have been saying, we're working on it. We're working on it for what, about a year or two now?
Oh, God.
Okay, let's look at who. Okay, so let me see your guys' model that you guys have gotten for yourself.
Sure.
Ones that have been
Stellarium.
given to you.
Yeah, Stellarium. Go look at it. All right, so that's our model. Stellarium is the model that I want to use. I'll put forth that model, and I have.
So you did your little rocket ship and got
no. Stellarium is a model. Do you know what a model means? A model is a okay. So all right. So I give you my model, Stellarium. Give me a flat Earth model that I could use to make predictions. Because Stellarium, I can say,
how did you get to that model? How did you get to that reference to have that model?
It's a round Earth. I use a round Earth model.
How did you get to that? How did you get to that?
Because I looked
standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah. We have a lot of people in the past that have had a lot of expertise in these areas, and they given us a models that we start with a geocentric model, moving to a heliocentric model. Okay, now we're moving around the sun. Let's observe how the path of the retrograde motions of things like Mercury. Oh, we can account for that by doing this way. Oh, we have some perturbations over here. Oh, we have some new planets we found. We have Neptune and Uranus now. All these things have been added on to each other to a knowledge where we can put this into like programs like Stellarium and go, okay.
Basically, what you're not doing is not answering the question I asked. Basically,
I am answering your question, and I'm answering very directly.
And
has nothing to do with NASA. Right? Has nothing to do with NASA. NASA's not the only organization on the planet. This is physics. Not,
you're right.
Okay, so let me ask
you. Better yet, how much money do you have backing all the information that you were able to get?
Stellarium is a free program. You can go download it for free. You ask for a model, I'm giving you the model. So let me give you the
download the program, Sean, and then you can go outside and make observations.
Yeah, you ask for a model. Let me give you the model because I want yours. I can actually go to Stellarium and I can say, when is this eclipse going to be? And I can find any eclipse, like for example, the one we just had. I can go to anywhere in that path of totality, and then guess what? It actually showed the moon going in front of the sun and it getting dark.
Okay. Well, basically what you're doing is you're making things that you've gotten from information you've pulled from different places. There's very selective information that's going to give me what I need. And for the other fact that is, I'm the only one person right now that's able to get my own information. So if it's like that, then okay, give me whatever amount of time it took for you to get all your guys' information, and then I'll come back to you and let you know.
Okay, but that's fine. But the problem that's fair. But the problem is you're running into is that they never do. You're never going to find a model for flat Earth. There isn't one. I'm telling you right here now.
Well, I can tell you. Well, first of all, I made it very clear that I'm still new to all of it. So when it comes down to it, I can only realistically tell you exactly how I know.
Why are you new to this? Why are you new to this? What made you think? What brought you into the flat Earth movement? If I can ask you. I mean, you say this. You're new to this. Well, why did you go down this rabbit hole of flat Earth?
Because I've always known that the government and all the other stuff hide a lot of stuff and tell you a lot of lies, and then
the government can't hide observations
and physics.
Yes, they can't hide reality.
Can't change reality.
So what observation do you actually have that it's around?
Like I just said, the fact that the whole celestial sphere tilts 1 degree every 69 miles you travel across the surface of the Earth. That's something that you can measure yourself. You can make your own.
So why wouldn't that happen on a flat?
Oh, really?
Further out you go.
Can you see Polaris from the South Pole?
I don't know. I've never been to the South Pole.
I have.
And why couldn't you say that'd be?
Well, I've been to the South Pole, but I've been near. I've been Australia, the very tip of Australia, which is not that far as latitude from what the South Pole would be. But I mean, I've been in the southern hemisphere. You can't see Polaris. Why is that?
Too far, as far as I know.
That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean it's too far away?
Why doesn't it make sense? So you can see from Mount Everest, you can see everywhere.
No, we're talking about stars.
Yeah.
But what you're not understanding is there's a
that makes no
geometric
sense.
relationship. There is a geometric relationship as to how these objects move in the sky as you traverse the Earth. And the only possible explanation for that is you're moving across a curved surface. If you do the calculations for a triangle, which is what you'd be doing if you were moving on a flat surface, the math doesn't work at all. You can't make any predictions or observations.
How long would it take for you to make these observations from all these different degrees?
All you would have to do is jump in your car and drive 69 miles.
Or get a hold of people who live at different latitudes and ask them what angle the North Star
The
is.
easiest, I'll give you an easy way.
Or have them make a homemade sextant, which you can make out of, like, you can go to Staples and make yourself a homemade sextant, and you can measure the angle of Polaris over your horizon.
Yeah.
And you can call up a buddy in another state, or you can jump in your car or take a Greyhound bus or something and go and make that observation when you move to that.
And I would say that's the easiest way. Look,
Distances and elevations wouldn't change that at all.
Listen, Sean. I can tell you right now. I can go outside of my house, and I'm not that far from you. So what I'm looking at, you're looking at. Okay, because I'm up in the Menifee area. Now, if I go outside and I look north, I can see Polaris. It's going to be in the same spot, same all year round. It doesn't change. All the stars around it are circumpolar. The Little Dipper will go around it, but you never see the Little Dipper on the south side of the sky. You're never going to see it, completely go below the horizon. You're always going to see it in a certain relationship to Polaris. You do agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm looking at Polaris. Now, if I start heading toward the Mexican border, okay, toward your area, I should see Polaris slowly going down more by the horizon. And as the further I go south, I'll see Polaris go lower and lower and lower. Once I get past the equator, I no longer see Polaris. There is no model on the flat Earth that can ever account for that. Period. It's physically, geometrically, scientifically, physically not possible.
So it does. Your observation.
I was just going to ask if we could take a moment to address the elephant in the room, which is that the circumference of the Earth was initially calculated roughly 400 BC. We're talking long before any of these governments that you're accusing of having conspiracies. Also, in addition to that, if it was flat, all you need to do is take a telescope up to the top of Everest, and you'd be able to take a look at Australia.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a powerful telescope.
Tampa, you should be able to see.
Well, a telescope doesn't see forever. Otherwise, you'd be able to see.
But if you had a powerful one enough, we have very powerful telescopes. We can see to the edge of the visible universe some quasars. Okay, so we can certainly see Australia from Mount Everest.
Or Texas from Tampa. Texas from Tampa would be pretty easy.
Why? There are mountains, there's things in the atmosphere that would make that impossible.
It's across the water of the Gulf.
If you're on a flat Earth and you're the highest point, you should be able to see the entire planet.
Because there's no atmospheric things that.
If you had a powerful telescope,
there's no pollution.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? You're going to see pollution? So let me ask you: if you had a clear sky, wait.
Don't that far. You're trying to make it seem like just because it'd be flat. If it's flat, you should be able to see across the whole world.
If you had an optimal, hang on, Tony. If you had optimal conditions, optimal meaning no pollution,
which means that to be what pretty damn impossible. Okay.
You know what a hypothetical means?
Yes, I know exactly.
Okay, then go with a hypothetical. If at the top of the highest point, and I look through a telescope in any direction, I should be able to see the entire Earth. Would I not be able to do that?
No.
Why not?
Not with perfect clarity per se, but at the same.
I didn't say high. I didn't say perfect resolution.
Yeah, you'd be able to see masses. You'd be able to see shapes.
For sure, at night you should be able to see, cities thousands of miles away. For sure,
so
the lights of cities thousands of miles away.
If somebody's in Australia and they put a spotlight directed at you, and you put a very powerful telescope directed at them on a flat Earth, you damn well should be able to see them.
Okay, so for instance, we'll say the Luxor in Vegas, that big spotlight that come out of the Luxor, right? Supposedly you can see from space.
I've heard that.
Okay, sure. So if I'm in San Diego, what you're telling me is I should be able to go get a telescope right now.
No,
look in that direction, and I'll be able to see.
No, because the Luxor actually points upwards.
Points up, yeah.
Okay, so I should still be able to see it. I'm not off the latitude line that much, where I wouldn't be able to.
We want you at a higher point than that.
Yeah,
you're confusing way too many things.
So you tell me why I wouldn't be able to leave the light itself.
If that light was directed towards you, you would have a different case.
But it's so bright. Why can't?
But you also have dispersal. As long as you move away from that light, as you move away from that light,
I should be able to.
Listen to me very carefully. As you move away from that light, you can have less photons hitting your eye because there's going to be dispersion. Right?
Then why on a flat Earth would I be? Why?
Because I'm saying it's pointed towards you. Even better, don't even worry about light.
Okay,
you
so
can
then
do
if you're looking across, should I be able to see thousands and thousands of miles away at night? I should be able to see these lights.
No, they're not pointed toward you.
Okay.
And even then, they're not lasers.
On a flat Earth,
do you know the difference between a laser and a regular like flashlight? If you take a flashlight, there's going to be there's the beam as a. Don't interrupt. Stop interrupting me, please. If you have a flashlight. Right? If you have a flashlight, when you point that beam to something, there's an area of dispersion by which the width of the beam increases with direct proportionality to the distance from the source.
Like with a laser pointer, the dot gets wider the further
Yeah,
away
but it's a much more narrow beam because it's coherent light, it's polarized light. So on a laser, it doesn't have that degree of dispersion as much as a flashlight would, because it's all the same frequency. Does that make sense?
And aren't lighthouses a certain height up? So as soon as you see one in a ship, you can judge how far you are from that lighthouse.
Yeah, you won't see one past 100 miles out.
Yes, but as soon as you start seeing the light, then you know how far you are from the land.
Yeah, you might be able to see it in the higher atmospheres, right? I mean, when the sun goes below the horizon,
I was just going to say about the whole lighthouse thing that Eric DeBay loves to spout on. Is like, oh, you can see this lighthouse from X amount of miles away. What those sailors are saying is you're not seeing the actual lighthouse.
You're seeing it in the upper
beam
horizon.
of light cross the sky.
Yeah, you're seeing it above in the upper atmospheres, right? Because the light is traveling below the horizon upwards, right? And it's hitting the higher elevations, higher atmosphere, but it's not hitting directly toward you. It's like if you fired a beam of neutrinos, those neutrinos would never hit you. You would never even notice they're there unless they're directly pointing at you.
Okay. A few minutes ago, one of you, I don't know which one, said, if we live on a flat, you should be able to see across whatever Gulf and see the lights in Florida.
Yeah, that was
what changes that?
From Tampa to
okay, because with a powerful enough
so why would you
I'm answering your question. With a powerful enough telescope, you don't need as many photons hitting your object, your eye.
Okay, so I just said if I go get a telescope and I look up towards Vegas, then I'll be able to see that light then, right?
If you were in a balloon,
if you had a really optimal telescope and optimal conditions with no light pollution and no dispersion,
okay,
yeah.
And if
so why can't I right now?
Because those reasons don't exist.
Wait, so why can't I see? So you're telling me I'm so far from Vegas that I wouldn't be able to see that light?
You didn't understand a word I said, did you?
No, someone just said that. Someone just said something about.
I said because the Earth isn't flat.
Okay,
yeah, Vegas is very far
and San
away.
Diego aren't that far off to each other where I wouldn't be able to see a light.
Oh yes, they are.
So
They're 300 miles.
Yeah, you'd have to be in a
maybe
balloon.
400 miles. No, it's 450 miles probably. Because it's 300 some odd miles from me. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that. It's below the horizon, well below the horizon.
Have you ever been in a balloon? Like, it's the perfect.
Yeah, I've been in a balloon, been skydiving. I mean, like.
Then you should see how do you not see that? That's one of the biggest things I remember in a balloon is being able to see the curvature.
Yes,
okay, so wait.
340
so how high
miles.
Does the balloon go? How high does the balloon go?
It goes high. I don't know.
High?
Oh well, I know most of a hot air balloon or a weather balloon.
Yeah,
a hot air balloon.
5,000 feet.
Okay, so you're telling me you saw curvature at 5,000 feet, but you can't see it at 35. You can't see it at 121.
You can.
No, you can't see curvature at 5,000 feet.
You can see curvature at 5,000.
You can see it.
No.
I can see. Really, you can't see it. Like it's a tiny little cloud. But
what you're seeing.
I'm at 6,000 feet right now in the mountains, and if I can see off in the distance, I can see Lakeside El Cajon area, which you can go look on a map, but that's about.
You're not seeing curvature at 5,000 feet. What you're seeing is the difference of the terrain of the horizon. You're not high enough to see curvature at 5,000 feet.
All right.
If that people say that,
I don't
that's
know
why I
what
don't,
to say,
I don't
man.
believe we're on a sphere, because all that is just, well, I saw this and I saw that, and this
Well,
is what
I don't
think.
see. I look at
And that's
this.
exactly what you're doing too, though.
Tony,
It's
hang
the
on.
same thing.
No,
But
because I'm not telling you I have all the
listen to me
proof and
here.
all the evidence
Sean,
that says it's flat.
Sean, listen to me. I don't care about observations as much as the physics. I can show you mathematically that the Earth is not flat. That is objective. That doesn't care about your point of view or your belief in NASA being a conspiracy.
Or yeah, to go what the government tells you.
Yeah, the math.
Okay,
the
so-
math demonstrates without question
Okay,
the Earth is
so
round.
if you if you say the sun, if you think the sun is at 2,000 feet, 2,000 miles away.
How many?
Do the math, and I bet 10,000. Just go from 10,000. Don't go off of how big they say it is, off what you've been told. At being 10,000 miles away, I guarantee you.
You think
can
the
make
sun is
everything else
10,000?
work around it.
No,
You
no,
cannot.
no, you
because
can't.
The angular size of the sun does not change at all.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's the
throughout
thing.
day.
Yeah.
Throughout
Okay, so
the day.
93 miles
Sean, here's the
is
problem.
based on.
Sean, listen to me very carefully. Here's the problem you're going to have. As the time changes, as the sun moves across your field of view, as the daylight goes to nighttime, if it was a flat Earth, it would have what's called a change of angular diameter. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
Then explain it to me.
Basically, it would on a flat Earth, it would change from bigger to smaller. As at noon hits, it'd be
The disk would be smaller. Okay.
As not,
It never changes size. The angular diameter of the sun, the
It does.
distance. No, it does not.
Nail in coffin.
Yeah, Red's Rhetoric has actually done this experiment where he's taken a picture
Not
every
just
30
Red.
minutes, and other people have as well. You could too. Get a
I was
P900
gonna
do
say,
it.
I've got video instead of just photographs from noon till
well,
sunset.
so there's a lot of flat Earthers that have videos too that I've seen.
And how
Why-
many of
how
them
are those
have
wrong?
used, how many of them have actually used a solar filter?
None.
0.
None. Not one of them. Yeah. See, we have what's called glare, and none of those flat Earth videos we adjusted for glare. They didn't use a solar filter. And
Just
even still,
I was just watching a video that actually does.
no, they don't.
Okay, show us. Show us.
Even
show
and
us.
even
No, go ahead
still,
and show us.
and even still, the amount of diameter change would not be is not what they see in that video. It would be a much greater diameter change. And the other side would be is now listen to me. If the sun is only 10,000 miles away, whatever the hell you posit it as, now you have to come up with an energy source for that sun. How does the sun work then? If that's not the case, what is this energy source?
It's solar
I don't
powered.
know.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know is not going to cut it on that particular thing.
Okay, so you tell me exactly how it is based on how you've studied it. To tell
Sure,
me
they're
that.
called proton reactions. Proton.
Did you do that test?
It's not a yeah. Well, actually, not a test, but I can actually do the math of it. Yes.
Okay, so show me exactly how you found out.
Okay. It's called a proton cycle. Do you know how protons are converted into helium-3, and helium-3 is then converted into another by 3 steps into helium-4, and each one produces a neutrino. Each neutrino is at a very specific energy level that we can detect, and those detections have been made confirming the proton cycle.
You did that confirmation, right?
Okay,
That's
I
what
don't
you're saying
have
to
to do the confirmation.
Okay,
I can
so
read
that's
the
what
papers.
you're saying to me. You're basically asking me what I've done to do that, all these tests and everything, and I haven't.
So
done
you
all
have,
the
so
tests
you
because
think
I'm
that
not-
you think that every person that actually has to know anything has to go do every little thing that somebody's ever done before. I can't go read a paper and go, okay, these people are a group of people that are experts. They've done these tests. It's been published. It's been peer reviewed by other experts, and you say none of that matters.
It's a
It
Jesuit
goes
construct.
goes both ways, basically.
No,
It's not just.
epistemic.
It does. It 100% does. 'cause
Sean,
there's
listen to me
people
very
that say-
carefully. Epistemic uncertainty does not cut it in a debate. You need evidence, not epistemic
you asked-
uncertainty. What is
So-
your evidence?
so-
What is your
I'm telling you.
evidence that the
So
proton?
if that was the case, then you should have asked what my qualifications were, what
You
my
ha-
acknowledgement of each
I
subject
did
was.
ask what your
Discussing it
qualifications were.
Because and I also told you I'm new to it, so I can't answer all your questions. But you're sitting there making it seem like I should know all these things and all these things. I should have
No,
proof
no,
for.
I am not, Sean. Listen
500
again. You're
years ago,
distorting what I'm
they had
saying,
it was round.
Sean.
You're making it seem like that. No, what one guy said.
No, Sean. Listen to me very carefully. It doesn't matter what you know. It matters what you do want to go and find out. I can give you the
That's what
information.
I'm trying to
Then
find
go
out.
validate
But
this.
you're
Have you ever
like I should
heard?
know all these things.
I've
You
not
asked me
said
how
you should
far I
know
think it
this.
is. I don't know. You said, well, then how does the sun? Well,
You
that doesn't
asked
work
me.
independently
You asked
because-
me how the sun worked. I'm giving you how it works. Will you go verify this?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, there you go.
You guys act like I hear things and I go, oh well, if it doesn't involve flat Earth, then I'm not going to go research.
See, here's the difference.
Every other flat earther
Here's the
has done
difference.
that.
I have an explanation
Okay, well, you want to see? I can show you the amount of notes I take and all the research I go over. I don't just go.
Okay, Sean, fine. I believe you. I believe you. But listen,
So
you
what's
asked
your very best evidence of the flat Earth then?
One
If
sec.
you said you have notes, you've done research. What's your very best?
One sec. Then you can ask. One sec.
Hang on. Let's not dogpile, please.
Yeah, one sec. And then finish this, and you can ask.
Doing.
God damn it! Stop.
I've been,
When I tell people to wait, my voice is getting shot. I don't want to have to talk over people.
you asked me a question, so I was answering it.
He asked you a question. I told him to hold off. You asked me a question. I gave you an answer. Your answer was, I don't know. Okay, now that I have given you an answer, which actually is the correct answer, and by the way, the sun's a little more involved in that. There's a lot of other mechanisms go on with them, but the sun, that's basically the mechanism of how it works. You need to go validate this. Because the difference is, you will never find a young Earth model, a flat Earth model that explains it. There is no explanation in a flat Earth model. None.
Okay. Well, the reason I don't know all the things like that is because to then understand what you just explained, I'd have to do a lot of research on at least 10 different things, right? So as far as right now is concerned, I can only do so much research in a day. So that's what my research is based on. So sure, I'll look it up, but then to understand what you're saying and understand all the basis of what you're saying, to understand it like you do, it's going to take me a while, correct?
Yeah, that's not my complaint. My complaint is that you ask people for how these things work on around Earth. We all can explain. Everyone in here has been doing this for a very long time.
But 90% of everyone doing it is just repeating what they've.
No, we have
read.
experts. I'll get you in touch with PhDs in fields of any subject you want.
Actually, the whole thing with science is science needs to be repeatable. So, yeah, a lot of people have been doing the same kind of tests and getting the same results.
Exactly. An argument from incredulity is not an argument. It's a fallacy.
Why not wait till you have all that information, then become a flat earther? Why become a flat earther and then have
That's
all these
point.
questions in your head?
I gotta get into the drink.
Answered?
Sean, you got the load.
Then why? I haven't done. I guess the way it is. Why?
Well,
I can refer to myself as anything I want. I can say.
Yes, of course.
Don't
you
have
can,
to say
of course.
I'm any of it then.
Agreed, but I mean, why would you make?
But I'm also
a hard
for the same.
on it?
For this, because I guess I just do.
Oh, that's cool. That's an answer. That's cool. I mean, there's things that I think too that are probably bullshit that I believe are true. So
let me give you an example here.
Okay. So then, how does anyone call themselves Christian or Baptist or anything? It's it's realistic.
That's a topic related to flat Earth. And
yeah, I'm not religious. I'm out on that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen God yet, so I'm not going to say that there is one. So.
However, I see the frustration here in terms of right now you seem to be at least tentatively accepting this on fairly limited information, and I do understand that you're and at the same point, the fact that you're acknowledging that, I think does actually deserve a little bit of credit, and that you're questioning, and there's nothing wrong with questioning, but I think the objection here is you seem to have a conclusion already while you're still in the questioning phase, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have more of a conclusion that there's more of a chance of things being completely different than they say than a flat. It's flat. Period. I don't know what you're saying. I get, and the information that you're giving me is the reason I don't just run to say, okay, it's a globe. I don't know enough about the information given to me, like you've given to me, to go, okay, I should take that account, this account, and that's how I know. I don't know.
And
but
I think there's a certain degree of rationality in not simply taking somebody's word for it. And that I would encourage is to continue research and continue looking into it. But while doing so, don't try to hold one conception or the other in your mind. Just do it independently of any of the conclusions.
Absolutely. But that's also why 90% of people you talk to will say, no, space doesn't exist. There's a dome. I don't believe any of those things because there's only, like I said, I can only go so far in my research at a certain time. But there are things like that I can.
Really simple. You accept
for not buying the dome thing, at least. I'll give you that one.
For real, yeah.
Hold on, guys. I'm back. He accepts the flat Earth because he thinks it's flat. That's what it boils down to. Here's a good way to test that. You admit that there is no flat Earth model. They don't even have a map that they can agree on. But the globe Earth
not-
model.
I would
has
like to say it's not.
Hold on.
that they
No,
can't
no,
agree.
don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. The globe Earth model has something as simple as navigation, which can't be done on a flat Earth map because there is no flat Earth map.
Nope.
Then who's to say that it can only be done on a globe map?
Because it
It's the one
works.
that's working.
Okay, so then
It's
how do you
working
know? So if
As of right now, it can only be done on a globe Earth. If somebody else can show otherwise, more power to them. But that's not happening.
okay, well, as far as not knowing, because I sure as hell don't know everybody that believes it's flat. If I can, when the research and stuff that I'm trying to work on, if I can show navigation being the same thing, then you're telling me that if I can navigate from point A to point B on a flat map, then you're willing to take that in consideration because it's being able, you can navigate it.
Wolfie
If you can do it
6020
properly, and it's
Wolfie
yeah.
6020 is an international pilot. He has been begging a flat earther to give him a flight plan based on any flat Earth map that works.
And I could
Okay,
run it
then
through.
what
I
about-
can run it through a
all of it?
simulator.
Then what about the pilots that say that they've never adjusted to a curve or had anything to do with a curve flying?
Why would you adjust for curve?
I'm
You
just
you
saying.
have to.
I don't know pilot terms, but there are pilots that say it's flat Earth. So
No,
what,
it's not.
Why are
No, there's not.
They're not real
There's
pilots.
not?
You're talking
They're not
about,
real pilots.
Mark Sargent and Glowbusters with the lady that they just had on that supposedly got grounded for saying the Earth is flat.
No,
Not a pilot.
no, actually, I haven't even heard that
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
Mark Sargent had a pilot on a couple years back that he claims was a pilot. Wasn't a pilot. It's just somebody he paid to play the part.
So let me ask you a quick,
Okay,
Sean. One, are you a young Earth creationist or just a flat earther?
Flat Earther.
Okay.
No, I.
So
It's
this has no religious
freaking
overtones
millions
to you.
years old, billions years old. I know that.
Okay, it has no religious
All right,
overtones
cool.
for you.
Huh?
There's no
I'm not sorry, I
religious.
didn't hear that.
There's no religious reasons why you want to believe the Earth is flat. Then.
No, I don't believe there is a God at all.
Okay.
Well, you're a step up there. That's good. You got points from us.
Yeah. No. This is unique. I'm actually digging this
For real.
because this is
Yeah, he might be good.
This
for
is outside
It's
the
not
norm.
unique, it's just rare.
It's rare. Yeah. Not. It's not impossible, but it is rare.
I like Sean.
Well, that's why I'm trying to narrow him down. I want to get Aron somebody that he
And I think he'll do the investigating that he just said he'll do too. To give him a couple weeks or so. I mean, not a couple weeks, but whatever to have this debate.
But my concern is
I'm actually going to clarify something. Sean G, didn't we have you in a Red Reddit hangout at one point?
Absolutely.
Because I'm pretty sure we covered all these points before that you said you were going to look into, and you still haven't.
No, that was when I came on the Red Reddit. I think you guys were talking about. I'm trying to remember. I forget what the conversation was about, but there was another guy that was in there with me that kind of overtalk everyone, and it got to the point where it was just too much for everybody, and I kind of left.
Well, here's
But I
my
remember I was
concern
there.
though, Sean. Whenever you have a discussion, right, and it devolves into arguments from incredulity, I don't think that that's somebody that I want to set up for somebody to debate. You cannot go in a discussion and say you're wrong because reasons. You have to give those reasons, right? You can't just say, well, that doesn't make sense to me, or I don't know, and therefore it's wrong.
That's why when I before I came in here, I made it very clear that hey, I've only done this for 6 months, so I don't know everything. I don't know very much of anything.
I get that. I get that. You did. Yes, I get that. But my retort to you, my rejoinder would be, if you've only doing for this for 6 months, do you really think that you have enough epistemic warrant and justification to substantiate that you have a belief that the Earth is flat?
Yes, the same way anyone who just quote unquote found God in their life or whatever can say they believe in God.
Okay. If you find out that the Earth is not flat, how would that change your position? I mean, what would you think? Would you think that
if I find out if there's understandable proof that it is, then it's a globe.
And would you think all this time was wasted? Would it be like, or you been, oh, well, I was researching and I found out. Okay, all right.
I mean, the only real bias that I've really seen from him is more along the lines of wanting to mistrust the government and believe that they're lying about something huge.
Yeah, but I think that's every flat. I've never. That's one thing that is ubiquitous among all flat earthers, right? Every flat earther thinks there's a conspiracy going on. There have to. You can't separate that from flat Earth, right?
Okay. Are you saying
the
that
government does suck, though? I mean, the government is terrible. But...
Are you saying NASA has never lied? The government doesn't
I've never
lie.
said. Okay, here's the other. Okay, here's the other.
I know you never said that.
Sean,
but
hang on.
I'm just
Let me
asking
finish.
you.
Here's the other problem that I moderate debates, so that I'm giving you my opinion on how to have debates, because I've been in debates. I know about debating. The other thing that you do that I've noticed that some flat earthers do that is reprehensible in a debate. You make these statements that is not in any way, shape, or form what the person is saying. Nothing I have said implies or in any way, shape, or form says that I believe that the government has not lied in some way. So to bring that up, is it called a straw man or a red herring?
That's a man straw fallacy.
First of all, I don't do like the real super structured debates. Never really done them at all. So to know the structure of how you want it I'm learning that now.
Okay,
but at the same time, when someone says to me, "Oh, everything you think is because you all think everything's a conspiracy," as far as to me, when I hear that,
if I may, that isn't specifically what I said. I think it's that you have a bias towards the idea that the government's lying to us about something huge and kind of focusing on this.
I wasn't referencing what you said at all. I was just saying in general.
Let's put it this way. I worked for the government. I know the government puts out bullshit firsthand.
Yeah, I've worked for the IRS and FDIC myself.
There's reasons for it.
Oh God,
but they do.
Know that.
Oh, dude, when I was working at the FDIC, I learned a lot about what was fucked up in the banking industry, and that most of these too big to fail banks would have been fucking shut down years ago if they had the manpower to do it, and the government was turning a blind eye to it. But I also
doing it again.
Our government is fucking incompetent when it comes to trying to cover up anything.
Yeah.
Look, we have Mitch McConnell. Look at Mitch McConnell. That's all I gotta say.
Well, that's the whole thing with like the moon landing. I mean, there's just no way that they could keep this all hush.
Our government is not that competent. No. Holy crap, man!
And Russia, and to me, China's going to be going there soon.
Why would you say it's that hard to cover up?
Oh, it would take hundreds of thousands of people to cover that shit.
Oh yeah, then
a lot of people would have to die too. There'd be a lot of killing.
Yeah, I mean, Russia at the time they were
a lot of killing. There's definitely a lot of that, and I don't think that
Russia.
I don't believe Russia and America are at war against each other as people think they are.
They were.
I don't think it's that way.
They use each other.
Do you know what the Cold War was?
They they're both superpowers, and they realize that. And as
wait. No, I'm not going to let you just throw that out there. I lived through the Cold War. They were not friendly with each other. I assure you.
Okay, well, that's like saying the Raiders and the Chargers hate each other, but I mean, realistically, they're not going to go out and shoot each other.
I didn't say that, but if we were having a space race with them,
I know you didn't say that exactly, but
we were having a space race with them. They checked our telemetry. They checked the data. They knew we went to the moon.
I don't believe it was a space race.
You can believe whatever you want. You don't have the evidence to support it. That's the problem.
So you're telling me basically what they put out, you believe?
Yes, absolutely. No, I don't. It's more disbelief. It's not disbelief. I know they went to the moon. It's not just belief. It is belief that is now knowledge. Because I'm not like a flat earther. I know this to be true. I can actually show the science behind it. I can show you the evidence of why we went to the moon. It's overwhelming. It's gargantuan.
I would love to see that.
And that's not even my area of specialty. If you really, I mean, I would prefer you go to Sean for that. Sean is a hell of a lot more adept at flat Earth than I am. Now, if you want to come after me with young Earth, which you're not, then I'll shine. I could pick apart young Earthers. But flat Earther, just go to Sean. Sean has this. He's done this for a very long time. I'll concede to Sean.
Anybody can show that much proof that we went to the moon, I'd love to see it because everything I've seen.
All right, Sean, you want to take up on that?
Well, there's always the retroreflectors. That's my favorite one because that's
the mirrors. Those are the mirrors that we use to judge the distance, right?
Yeah.
But see, the problem I have with that is isn't the lasers to be able to do that like $5-6 grand?
I'm not sure how much they cost, but the problem is you can do this. It's not we can't do this at all because the government's just going to lie. You have the ability. If you are able to get the funds for it, you can do this totally separate of any government organization.
But okay, so when I say is there anywhere that I could go to that has done this besides them?
I'm sure there's some on YouTube.
Pretty much every observatory in the world has done this test.
What, bounce the laser off the moon?
Well, off the retroreflectors, because that's the only place that actually reflects the lasers back strong enough to be picked up.
And that's how we know the moon is actually drifting away, right?
Yeah, about 2 point something centimeters annually. Yeah.
Well, how is it drifting away if it's there?
Conservation of energy.
Yes. Conservation of energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The moon has to reach a higher orbital because of the effect it's having on the tides.
But our tides
Yeah,
aren't
and then the
affected
tides.
by
So
it, though.
Oh yeah, the moon affects the tides. I assure you.
Yeah.
Then how do you have tides in every direction all time?
You don't. You have a tidal bulge that's on one side of the Earth, and then you have a smaller one on the other side of the Earth. Then you have lesser bulges on the top and the bottom, on the north and south pole.
If you go a tide tracker, you could see that that's not true. There's tides in every
Oh
direction.
no, it's
at all
true.
times.
Dude,
It's
you're talking to a
just
Navy guy here. Okay, I understand tides. Trust me. No, the moon exerts a force,
No,
but there's
because
a lag.
I-
Listen to me. There's a lag time. As the Earth rotates, as the moon's going around it, there's a little lag between the max amount of bulge and the position of the moon. That differential between that lag time causes the moon to actually go into a higher orbit because of conservation of energy.
Okay, I've watched these tide trackers that show different directions than the lunar and cycles and everything else that go in different directions at the same time. So how is that even possible? How
I
do you
don't
have a
know
high
what the
tide
hell you're talking
going
about and what the
one
hell you're
direction
looking
and
at.
a high tide going in a different direction?
What do you mean the high tide is going in a different direction?
So
As opposed to what?
To wherever the moon is at for tides to be pulling on the tides.
Like they're all going east or they're all going west?
The high
or...
tide is going to be in the direction of
that's
the
what
moon
you're saying.
with a little bit of lag.
Okay, so if there's one going in a different direction where the moon is, it obviously would prove that it's not, right?
No, the other side of the Earth also has high tide, but at the same time.
So if the moon, so the moon obviously pulls the tide into it.
On the one side that the moon's at.
Okay, so then the opposite side of that
Also
high tide
has a
is
high
low
tide. No. The low tides are at the
How's that?
poles.
The low tides are at basically what would effectively be a terminator line that's facing
The terminal line to the center of the Earth on the north and south pole. That's going to be the low tide when you have a high tide facing the moon and then a slightly smaller high tide on the opposite side of the Earth, 180 degree opposite.
So 180. So on the so would it be Japan, Korea, those areas will have a low tide when the California is having a high tide.
The high tide where we're at, if you go 180 degrees opposite of the Earth, that also is going to have a high tide. It bulges out, flattens at the top and bottom, and bulges out toward the equator.
Okay. Well, what I see on the little tide tracker that I looked at before shows tides going in every single direction, high tides and low tides.
You're not
based
how
on
do you
what you're
how do you
saying.
have high tide? What do you mean? What do you mean by every single direction? What direction
I'm
are
not
you going?
understanding them either.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I'd have to find it and I'll send it to you. But it's basically a tide track that shows that it's not just in and out. So one side has high tide, the other side has low tide. Everywhere in different directions have
No, it
different
doesn't.
tide.
The other side has high tide as well.
Okay, well then I'd have to find it and then send it to
Yeah,
you.
you can send me whatever you want. I know it's.
That's
I
how
know.
it
I know
works.
you're reading it wrong. I can tell you right now. I know you're reading it wrong.
If you look at a Mercator map, just for simplicity, say that you're having a high tide in New York. Further east of that, about a quarter of the way around the planet, or a quarter of the way across the map, you're going to have a low tide.
Correct. On top and bottom.
Another
right.
quarter of the way around that, or toward the east of that, you're going to have a high tide again.
Yep.
Then a quarter, the last quarter, you're going to have a low tide. It's going to undulate.
Yes.
High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, all
Exactly.
the time.
Yeah. And it follows the moon,
Welcome to
right?
fluid
the moon
mechanics.
goes around and then the tide lags behind by a few degrees or something.
Actually, the tides are slightly ahead of the moon's orbit.
Ahead of it,
because
okay.
of the Earth.
Yeah, it's actually a lag in the other direction because you're right. The bulge, the maximum height of the bulge is a little bit high. Ahead of it, yeah.
The reason why that happens is because the moon's not actually pulling the water up from the center; it's actually pulling the water from the edges towards the center.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And because of the Earth's rotational speed is faster than the moon's orbit, it's actually dragging those bulges ahead of the moon.
Yeah, it's like twice as fast.
Gotcha.
And since that actually causes a higher gravitational pull, that actual tide that has been created, that tidal bulge, is actually pulling on the moon, increasing its speed. And when you increase the speed on something that's in an orbit, it goes into a higher orbit. That's why
So
it's
it's like-
getting about an inch
Right.
farther away from us every year.
And yeah, that makes sense. Because think about it. If you have a higher speed, you're going to be elevated in your orbit, right? If you have lower speed, you're going to be going down in the orbit, right?
Then shouldn't our tides be getting less every year?
That's a good question, man.
Not to a noticeable effect because it's 2.4 or 2.3, 2.4 centimeters annually. That's not going to be a significant amount to really measure.
There are also other things that affect this tide.
We've been measuring tides for what, over at least 100 years, right?
Yeah, but you got to remember in celestial terms, these are not that great distances.
Yeah, that wouldn't even be.
Yeah,
that's effectively 100 inches.
Yeah,
of distance change.
Good math. It's too late for me to do the kind of math. I'm like, what?
Well, we have seen tides change. I mean, we have coastal erosions because the tides have been changing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look at the desert. The desert used to be oceans.
You can survey off the continental the deck line, basically.
Which changes due to erosion every year.
Right.
Yeah, but then there's still a spot you could check it from. There's still distances you can check it from. The same way we know that because of the plates, California is moving in towards the ocean. I think it's 3 centimeters or something like that a year. Maybe we can measure that. So why couldn't we measure the tide?
It's not moving into the ocean. It's moving up. But you're talking about the Pacific plate is split down the middle of the center J.S. fault.
Yeah,
but also taking
into account. The plate is going west. The whole plate's going.
It's going
west.
northwest.
It's not moving in.
No, it's going northwest.
Yeah. But going back to your tide changes, another thing to take into account is average sea level changes every year. Water's gone. We've had more water and less water based on our polar ice.
And also,
every year.
and also this thing called subduction. Subduction actually removes water from the ocean as well. That affects the tides. There's a lot of things that go into plate tectonics and the hydrology of the Earth here. So I mean, you can't just say it's one specific thing.
There's too many factors that draw a direct causal relation.
But those all can be calculated to find out what it is. That's like saying we can't tell you how high the tide's coming up because all these other things are going on, but they still can.
Well, yeah, we can make predictions. You know why we make predictions? Because of a model that we have. And Paulogia is in the live chat. Yes, we're still going on, Paulogia. Would you like in? No, Paulogia doesn't want to come in. He's too good for us anymore. I'm going to give Paulogia shit.
But back to a topic that you touched on. You asked about information about the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. I actually gave a link to a documentary about it. And you'll find that, except for the bascules, the bottom of the bridge is 15 feet off the water the entire length.
Which link?
It's the newest link in the side chat.
Okay, I didn't see it. So there, I can see it.
It's like an hour long. When you got time, please watch it.
Yeah, I just
and then go back to that shot of the video that I gave you from Soundly, and then say that whatever your excuse was.
Hey,
I didn't have an excuse. I said, "Can I see the blueprints?" That's what I said.
Which Crazy Jesse is the right one?
I have no idea.
Crazy Jesse, how many subs you got? Oh, somebody's impersonating him.
But just to point out that the causeway length, which is a really neat fact, the length of the bridge itself from bottom to top is actually like, was it 2 inches longer on the top than it is the bottom, and that's only a 15-foot height difference. And that's because of curvature of the Earth. So even on the Pontchartrain Causeway, curvature of the Earth was accounted for a 15-foot tall bridge.
I said I'll check it out. I'll look on it because I don't know about that place, or I don't know enough about it to.
Yeah, it's got like 3 or 4 bascules, which are like rises for boats to get under it.
Cool.
But other than those bascules, the entire length of the bridge is 15 feet off the water.
Sean, I have a question. Do you basically not trust anything that science says until you, for yourself, somehow do the observation and the research and prove it to yourself?
To a certain extent, yes.
So, hypothetical scenario here. A loved one falls ill with a stroke or something, right? And you rush them over to the hospital and they stick them in this machine called an MRI. And, 30 minutes later, they say, we got to drill a hole in this person's head in order to help them or they're going to die. Right? And you can imagine all the science that goes into that machine, which is, based around quantum physics. You haven't proved that that machine does anything. For all you know, it's just, it's like voodoo, no different than a shaman looking at chicken bones, right? Or do you make the split-second decision and basically trust the science and engineering that went into that?
Yeah, that'd be something I'd kind of have to take for what they say, because it take a very long time for me to research that, and by that time it's most likely to be too late, right?
Right,
and there's
exactly.
only so much I could do.
So, and kind of the same thing when you get on an airplane, right? Like you don't have to know everything about the engineering that went into that airplane to trust before you put you and your family into it, right?
Well, I don't like to fly, so I'll stay away from that one. I prefer to drive wherever I go.
Well, what about what about the brake pedals and your whole braking system and all the stuff that goes into your car?
How that works. I know I've built cars and taken them apart. I know exactly how all that works.
Sure, but maybe the metallurgy is bad, and maybe maybe they didn't account for thermal expansion, and in the right circumstances, your brakes will stick or not work, or
that's why you don't go cheap with clay.
I guess the bottom line is, we live in an advanced technological society. It's a little ridiculous to have the expectation that you have to sort of re-engineer the whole world yourself before you believe any of the stuff that.
Yeah, I think that again, I don't like arguments that lead to epistemic nihilism or epistemic uncertainty, because that's not how you go into a conversation.
Yeah,
right?
That's you turn on a microwave. The microwave cooks something. You go, hey, look, it works.
Yeah. That really insults my pragmatism, right? If to say, oh well, hey, the microwave works, but I'm not going to trust scientists because it's pragmatic, that because I can cook food in it, it works. It's practical, right? So I don't have to know how the microwave works in order to make food in it. By the way, I do know how a microwave works, but that's beside the point.
Yes, so but the rest of us we're magic, so don't ruin it.
You don't know what a magnetron tube is? Oh, never mind. Okay.
No.
So
it just involves a whole lot of wiggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a special tube in there.
A bunch of weird timey-wimey stuff.
So let me ask you guys. So what do you think of Sean so far? I mean, do you think Aron would be? I mean, no. I have mixed reviews. He doesn't get aggressive as far as like being belligerent. He's not like Quantum Eraser. He does get epistemically uncertain, which I think is a problem. But I mean, do you think that it'd be something of interest that Aron would want to debate?
Honestly, and this is very much not meant to be offensive.
I don't think it is. I know exactly where you're going to go for this.
I think that you'd be better off finding somebody that's bitten the entire fucking pill and shoot it down. One of these people that believes in the dome and there's no satellites and all this other nonsense.
Yeah, I kind of, that makes sense to me. I mean, Sean's just like going down this path. I don't think he's fully traveled to the deep dark edges of flat Earth nonsense and bullshittery. But I don't think he would. It sounds. I don't mean this to be derogatory, Sean. You seem like a nice guy. I don't think he would hold. Well, not even that. I don't think he would hold his interest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know enough to prove it to anybody. I'm still proving it to myself.
See, this is why I was actually trying to suggest getting somebody like Bro Sanchez, because Bro Sanchez would actually do a debate. He'd lose.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You guys can't want Bro Sanchez to do a debate right now while he's in the middle of a live stream. Like
No. We're just going to happen.
The debate wasn't for tonight.
Yeah, we're not. I told Aron this morning.
Was messaging. He was making it seem like it was for tonight.
No. I told Aron this morning.
No, this is something. This guy named Aron Ra, who has about 300,000 subs, would like to be exposed to a flat earther because he thinks that everyone that's claiming this is full of it.
I made a promise to him, and I'm going to fulfill it. And that was several weeks ago that I would find a flat earther for him. I'm still working on it. I told him this morning on my Facebook, he was on my Facebook talking about something, and I said, hey, by the way, Aron, I haven't forgot about this. And so I decided, to try again. So if Bro Sanchez wants you, since you do know him, I mean, you've talked to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think Bro Sanchez would be better for this kind of thing with Aron?
Oh, yeah, far better than me.
Okay. No, that's fine. By the
I
way,
think-
I'll give you props, Sean. It takes a lot of balls to come in here, so you're already ahead of the pack when it comes to that.
I'm
so.
not basing anything I believe based on just fairy tales, and I'm not. I don't just because people say type thing. There are
Okay,
things
fair
that I
enough.
observe that make me feel this way,
All right.
and there's things I don't know that I have to figure out. I completely understand that.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd like to. Can I touch on a point that a lot of the people in your chat like to talk about?
Sure.
With in relation to, I think a few of you said it yourselves, being banned in the Flat Earth channels.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, I can't personally say exactly why you were banned from anywhere else, unless it was by me. But what people aren't realizing is that I haven't got that from any of you guys. That what I consider the asshole vibe, where you go in there and the first things out of your mouth are how fucking stupid flat earthers are.
No, not at all. We're the opposite. Dude, look at any of my Rum and Coke night. I go in there so polite, it's pathetic.
Okay, so then that's how I know it's not just you say you're a Glober and that's all there is to it. Because I was a Glober too, and I went into a lot of the chats, and I got along fine with all of them. But there's guys in your chat like right now. Lodi says he comes into my live stream, and he's the biggest dickhead in the world. And he asks, and then he
I like
acts
Lodi,
like
but
I'm
he's-
just
yeah, no, he's an
banning
ass.
him just to ban him because he believes
No,
it's a
Lodi,
globe.
Lodi,
No,
he
it's
knows
'cause
he's
you're
an ass.
Well, hold on, Sean G. I'm going to stop you right there, because when I was introduced to
Lodi.
you, was because we were watching. Me and Rez and a couple of people were watching a live stream from a flat
Yes,
Earth
okay. I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But you were banning people for saying simple things like "hi."
Yeah,
and you didn't know
I've
what
been
it was,
I've been
and you
banned
were
for saying
banning them.
hi.
And
I've
this
been
was
banned
in,
for asking
what's
simple
his name?
questions.
This was in, I forget the guy's names, but he was okay. Here's the thing: that particular chat that was going on, the guy who ran that channel specifically said, "The mods that I have, I don't want. This isn't a discussion for Globe Earthers. I don't want them coming in here and interjecting on it." So what he wanted was he didn't want to deal with any Globe Earthers saying anything to
Right, they want
having
echo-
to do
they
with
want
what
an
we're
echo
talking about.
Here's
Now,
my
when it
contention.
comes to the other channels that I moderate for, there are channels that don't want people banned just because. But there are
But
people
here's
that
my contention with that, though. If you don't believe that, you should have stepped out of being a mod for that instead of just blanket banning anybody you thought was being a Globe
but
Earther. If
that's
you were
the thing,
banning
I-
flat earthers for saying for asking
Yeah,
a question.
exactly. No,
But
only
the point is,
I
you say that you
ban
don't
for disrespect.
personally, but you say you personally don't believe in banning people just because, and yet you were, which is a
No.
contradiction of your initial statement.
can
If
tell
you
you right
had,
now,
if you had personal reason, you shouldn't ban people
No,
because
even in
Put
that
it
chat,
down.
I didn't ban anyone just because. I banned for people that have disrespectful things to
All
say,
right.
because that's why I knew there's
You
10
banned-
other.
All right, well, that's fine. Let me. All right.
you banned Red's rhetoric.
I know, no,
and
no.
hi.
We went through this. I did not ban him.
It was
'cause we went
on.
through this. I went through
It
yours.
was actually showing the chat, and it said Red's rhetoric was banned by Sean G.
bullshit, because at the same time I went over there and you said he's banned, he can't do anything. I personally went to my community settings and looked, and no, I did not ban him. I
No.
did not ban him.
It wasn't
And we
your
talked
chat,
about
so it's not going to show up.
Yeah,
on
it's not
your
going to show up on
community
your
settings.
channel. It's going to show
Yes,
up on the
it
channel.
does.
No, it
100%
doesn't.
it does.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
If you
so if I
ban, no,
ban-
listen to me, Sean. If you
I
ban
didn't
some,
ban Red Rhetoric. I know
Sean,
I didn't ban him.
But Sean, but if you ban somebody and you're on somebody else's channel as a mod, it's going to show up on their list, not
Okay,
yours.
I understand, but I didn't ban him.
Okay.
And we went through this when I went over to Red Rhetoric's his stream that same
Do you know,
within
by the way,
minutes.
do you know who Rand Campbell is? Flat out.
Say it again?
Rand Campbell, flat out elected.
Yes,
Oh, you do know who he is. Okay.
I know he is.
Yeah,
I
I mean-
apologize for his existence.
But I mean,
hang
see,
on.
I
gotta say this one thing. HSP gang that's in the chat right now, I'll ban you from every place I know, because between you and Tim, you guys have done background checks on me, and you guys keep putting all my information out in chats. So yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, I don't
why
like
banned
doxing.
HSP
I don't believe
gang
in
no matter
doxing.
what.
You know, that's a reason for banning that.
That's
Yeah,
another
no,
part.
doxing is a
I have
reason to
lot
ban.
of guys, a lot of them that do that, do background checks, and put all my information
Dox
out.
dropping is definitely a bannable offense.
Yeah, no, doxing is definitely, yeah, you can be banned for doxing. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. You know, some people are assholes and do that dox crap. It is BS. And if I ever catch people doxing people on my channels, they're banned.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
You can dox me because this is my real name, so I don't give a shit.
But that's the thing. I don't have anything to hide. I don't do stupid shit. I've never been arrested for and gotten. I don't even have felonies. So you can give all my information out all you want.
Well, here's my thing.
That's why I think
I believe you, Sean. But why would somebody? This is weird to me. Why would someone? It sounds weird, but why would someone give a shit about you enough to do a background check on you? I don't get that.
That's
Thank
weird.
you. Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking
Especially
weird.
because I haven't been around long enough to.
Yeah, I don't
do anything
understand.
like
It's,
that.
I mean, I understand somebody like maybe Von Helton, but
Me?
yeah, you. But
Now, if somebody doxes themselves, I'll be glad to point it out. But I'm never going to dox drop
Yeah,
anybody. I've got
that's
dox on a lot of people,
that's
but I'll never
different.
drop them.
Yeah.
But that's why like I said, I only ban for disrespect. But there are people that I see on a regular basis that you may talk shit and be disrespectful to some other flat earther, and then you come over to a place I'm modding at, and I remember that. Everyone remembers the guy who was an asshole somewhere else. So that's exactly why they end up getting banned.
All right, so
they may be cool when they go to one channel, but their next channel they're assholes to people.
So will you you'll get a hold of Bro. You talk to him, and
yeah, I'll let him know.
I know Hana already talked to him. Hana got his email. I know Bro. He knows me. I know we've talked before, but I usually just in live chats. But he's well aware who I am. I don't really know enough about him to say how he would be in a discussion, one-on-one, like with Aron. But people are vouching for him that they think that he would probably be somebody Aron might have an interest in trying to have a discussion with.
To be fair, out of our options, he's probably the best. But because none of the other big name flat earthers will ever fess up to a debate to anybody.
Well, the only person I was ever thinking of is not big name though. That's a part-time vegan, but he's a low-level player. But he keeps us cool. Sean here didn't get belligerent. I was pushing his buttons. He didn't get belligerent. He didn't get overbearing.
Well, he did get interrupted for a bit. Of course.
Yeah, that does actually push my buttons because I don't like being overbearing.
Well, there's always an element of dogpiling that happens in these,
Sure.
whether we mean that to or not.
Sure, no, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I think Sean handled himself pretty well. What do you guys think?
No, he did pretty fair. I mean,
okay.
He seems like a decent enough guy in terms of
We've seen worse,
how he
right?
presented himself.
I've seen much worse.
Yeah, we've seen much worse. So I mean, this is a gradient scale. So go ahead.
Out of a scale of 10, I'd say he's probably a 7.5, 8 for conversability. I know it's a word, but it works.
Well, I mean, try having conversability with Jungle Durgan.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, just no.
Yeah. Or King Logos. He's a flat earther.
But
of course he thinks that the frickin' pyramids were an ancient power supply. For fuck's sake, that retard.
On the flip side of the coin, though, as far as Bro Sanchez go, I think that he's in a debate. He's actually going to be a lot like he who shall not be named, as far as his interruptions go.
Barney, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
Was that you? It was just like who's breathing in the mic like they're dying? Yeah.
I am dying. Help me, send an ambulance. Somebody dox me, please.
Yeah, I'm not giving you mouth to mouth, buddy.
But yeah, I think Bro Sanchez is going to have a big problem with the whole interrupting thing, sort of like the safe cracker. You know who I'm talking about, Steve. I just don't
it starts with a G.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He'll behave a lot like that.
Mm. Yeah, well, he that shall not be named hasn't really been around.
Well, I still don't want to like make his ears ring. So
yeah, I mean he's welcome to come to my hangouts. I just don't have anything to do with him anymore. He's so wrapped up with this whole Dragnot Trimperism thing.
I don't want to get on the topic of him. I would just leave him as an example of what Bro Sanchez would be a lot like.
Although it is kind of funny the whole Dragnot and Trimperism thing. The whole sexuality seems to be so important to true empiricism. It's weird.
I missed that one, actually.
Well, it's just kind of weird because he looks like he's always in like makeup and shit, and he's judging drag for what drag had said, which obviously he took out of
Drew
context.
got in this weird thing about bisexuality while apparently referencing G-Man or something that had weird connotations, and then he starts talking about drag, and I don't know, man. There's something.
There's something not quite right with that boy.
Just stop at that point.
But I missed it.
There's
well, I did
miss
it. I missed it for several days.
Can you not explain, but you shouldn't attempt to.
Yeah, I didn't want to know anything about it, really. I was like, this is just too even weird even for me, but got suckered into this morning, and then I was like, damn.
Minor threes being a bitch, I gotta deal
Oh,
with that.
is that the
No,
real
of
real
course
true
not.
empiricism?
No, it's not true empiricism.
I gotta check.
No, it's not.
It's not. That's such a disappointment. Anyways.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Keep in touch with us, Sean. Like I said, to get a hold of Max, or my brother Sanchez, and then we can arrange something probably in the next 2, maybe 3 weeks with Aron.
Well, let's just clarify one thing so he doesn't get the wrong information to Bro Sanchez. Am I correct in saying it's just going to be Bro Sanchez, Aron Ra, and you as a moderator, correct?
Right.
Okay. I just don't want Bro Sanchez to get the idea that it's going to be some kind of dog pile or
No,
anything
just
like
us three. The same way with like Ken Hoven and Casey. I just moderate.
The problem though is, I mean, they gotta find a flat earther that actually knows the heliocentric model.
Well, you're never going to find one. They love to strawman the heck out of it. You'll never find
They're
one.
all they're all geocentrist?
No. I mean that know the heliocentric model. I'm not saying that.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like that. At least when you're talking about like how satellites orbit and the basic stuff of what the heliocentric model claims.
Well, does
the way
Bro
that
Sanchez accept satellites?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I actually, something that really needs to be mentioned here, though, is that in terms of the scheduling it's going to be mainly down to Aron Ra's schedule because he's currently running for state senate.
Yeah, but I mean, he wants to do this, and I told him I would find him something. So I mean, if we're going to set a time up, I will definitely be the middleman to get time for that. So
yeah, but whoever we get signed on for it just really needs to understand that it's going to really come down to Aron's scheduling.
Yeah, it's not going to be based around the flat earther schedule. It's going to be based around Aron's.
It's going to have to be because he has real world commitments.
Right. And then I don't know if I'll be doing any more Ken Hoven debates. I haven't decided yet.
He's boring.
I know. It really is.
But what kind?
Well,
hang on. I'll be right back. I'll demonstrate how boring he is. Give me a second.
I'll joke went over his head.
I know Ocean wants to debate Aron on polytheism.
And I'm not even gonna try to hide it. I have no idea what that means.
Polytheism?
Yeah, I'm not, dude. I don't get into the whole theist debates.
Multiple, right? More than one.
Oh, okay.
Ocean believes in Odin and Thor and
chaos,
the Norse gods.
Like the Marvel, Marvel universe.
Norse universe.
I understand now. I just never heard the actual term polytheism before.
Yeah.
But now I know what I mean.
Where did they get in each other's throats about that? You mentioned something on Facebook, but I couldn't find it.
It was on my Facebook page where I posted the that I was looking for a flat earther for Aron.
On the GDC Facebook page?
No, on my Facebook page, my personal one.
Oh, okay. I don't have yours. I'm gonna have to add you.
Yeah, you can have me. The GDC Facebook page is a closed group.
To give a quick idea of how boring I find Hoven, this does not make a large enough hole.
There you go.
A borer.
Well, I am working on a few things. One of the doctors that had written an article for Talk Origins on Humphrey's helium diffusion rates, I've got a hold of, and he's more than willing to come on and talk about helium diffusion rates. But he only wants to really come on if one of the other professors wants to come on. So I'm waiting to hear a response from him. Dr. Gary Loesch, I think his name is. So that's going to be pretty cool because Paula G is thinking about doing something along those lines.
But it is now like 6 hours past my bedtime.
Yeah, I'm going to be wrapping up here soon. If you guys have not subbed to Paula G yet, Paula G has a bet with blah 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 Rhino. I don't remember his full name. That he'll get to 10,000 subs before Rhino. He's close. I've already got him like 50 subs already in this last a couple weeks. But he's like 150 subs short. So if you have not subbed to Apologia yet, what are you waiting for? Somebody post a link in the, you know, I'll do it.
I need another 211 subscribers, Steve.
You need to get your first one.
Huh?
No, I'm just kidding. How many subs you got?
700 and where'd it go? 789. I want to get my 1,000 milestone.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for not being assholes to me. I appreciate that.
Well, we won't be if you go sub to Apologia. So I put the link. Go sub to this guy. Yeah, and sub to me too. Don't forget to sub to me. Don't be a dick. You've been on my show. You got to sub to me.
Yeah, sub to all of us.
No. Hey, I already am.
Oh, cool. Oh, sweet. Awesome. Yeah, we just keep in touch with me and let me know what Bro Sanchez says. It'll be a fair debate.
Yeah,
I'll moderate fairly.
I'll message you probably through Google Plus because I know
that's fine.
That's where I see you all the time.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Sean.
Okay,
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. I'm gonna be like ending this Rum and Coke night. This was actually pretty productive. It was pretty cool actually. I had a good time and I got drunk. This whiskey is pretty potent. Not gonna lie.
It's not Jim Beam, man.
No, it's Ernie.
Tennessee whiskey.
Ernie, yeah, this is straight bourbon whiskey. It's pretty pungent. Oh, Apology is still in the live chat. I want to get. I told him I'd try to get him 10,000 by the end of the week. So, Apology, if you get a chance, message me. Let's get you on like tomorrow. Let's try to do. Oh, I'm pretty drunk. Trust me. I'm just trying not to slur my speech. But we need to do like a sub drive for Apologia. But then again, we already know. Well, I tapped in my Facebook friends. Some of them don't know who he is, but I think we can get him some more. I think there's still a lot of people that have not quite subbed Apologia. I think we do a sub drive for him. We can push him over the top because we got like 150 subs for like Creationist Cat when we did his. All right, so I'm gonna end it, and
but he's funny.
Creation Cat's got talent, but you know, Apology is a good-looking guy, right? I mean, he's got.
But he's not that funny.
No, not really. Informative, but not really funny.
Yeah, funny's easier to get subs.
True. He needs to make a comedy video. All right, everybody's falling asleep. So everybody, thanks for watching the Rum and Coke night. I appreciate it. Don't forget to sub to me. Don't forget to sub to Apologia and anybody else in here who has a channel. Barney, do your little spiel. Come on, you owe me one. Barney.
Wait till I find the button.
There you go. Do your spiel. Thank you, Barney.
And don't forget to click the notification button to become part of Steve's notification crew.